Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to LRC. We are here today for the first race of Season 6. We've had the pre-season in Spain, that's over and done with now. It was a great race and gave us a great taste of what we can expect for this season. So we are here now, into the pit lane, as you can see under the lights in Bahrain for round 1 of this Tier 1 season. My name is Coolest, and I am happy to say that I will be joined in the commentary box today and for the rest of this season by Alpha Max Nova.
Hello guys, good night and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. We are here ready for qualifying and I've seen a car getting out on track. I think it was an Alfa Romeo, but I'm not too sure.
We have Mercedes on the way out. Who do I say? I think it's Fred. I could be wrong.
I mean, many people getting out on track right now, the Red Bull too.
Yeah, everyone making their way out. Very crowded pit lane, obviously. Let's see, who's first? Oh, it was Davey, that was it. First out in the Mercedes. So, yeah, we have a very interesting qualifying session ahead of us, if last week is anything to go by. Where we had, I think, what was it, the top 5 split by about 0.2 of a second, or something equally insane as that. And we have Elias retires already. I don't know if he had a penalty or something to serve. I would assume so, but if not, he has just retired immediately. So, not the best start to his season.
Well, considering that Lamoyas was surely one of the people to expect.
Yeah, somebody just spun in the background there. That was Kateshi, who's lost it on cold tyres out of turn 2 there. People struggling already. But
yeah, which is kind of strange, but it happened.
Okay, I've just seen what's happened to Elias. I think he's been disconnected and his AI has just retired from the session, which is exactly what happened to me in the Tier 2 race last time around. So that is very unfortunate for somebody who is going to be one of our title contenders this season, we're expecting. And he's once again, by the bugs that stopped him from winning the last title, perhaps, they seem to have returned once again. And yeah, he's going to be starting from the back of the grid today.
I mean, if it was real life Formula 1, we would treat this like if it had like a mechanical failure before the race and he has to start from the pit lane. So let's just say it's something that can happen. I mean, it shouldn't really, but sadly it can. And now he has to face a whole difficult race ahead of him because he'll have to start from the last place. Meanwhile, we can see Devi starting his running lap and losing a little bit of rear grip on the first few corners, which is kind of easy considering what kind of traction zones there is there. And how about you, Kulas, give us a commentary of the whole lap?
Indeed I can. So making his way out of turn 4 there, well clear of track limits, unlike certain other Mercedes drivers, but looking a little bit shaky through the S section there. I think that's through 6 and 7, is a bit wide. Gets to the curb at turn 8 there, probably a bit more curb than he would have liked, but still, it's continuing on. Still within track limits so far, so this will be a valid lap, but he has really taken a whole load of curb there on the inside of turn 9 and 10, one of the trickiest corner complexes on the calendar, but yes, been a bit of a scrappy lap so far from Davey, making his way into 11 now, another very tricky traction zone here, but deals with it quite nicely, just a tiny little bit of overstay, and now makes his way flat out through the end of sector 2, obviously Purple being the first driver, takes a nice line there, through turn 14 or 13 I believe, and now on his way down to turn 14 or 15, either way, down to the final corner, gets it hooked into the apex nicely, doesn't take too much curb this time, and will be flat out on the run to the line, DRS open, and he will set the banker time, which will be a 1:30.8.
As you can see, we also have all the drivers trying to drive and improve this lap time, which is actually happening right now with a 29.2 by Rabbit, which is a very fast driver, I have to say. He impressed me during the preseason race, so I expect a lot from him during this race too. And now we can see also Loris ending up his lap, opening the DRS maybe, and setting up a 28.7, so even faster.
Yeah, indeed. Good luck from Loris there. As Slinks crosses the line, we've got all the first times will be coming in now, so I'd expect quite a few changes of position, as now Icky Rabbit has crashed on the exit of turn 4 by the looks of things. You can see on the mini-map there. So that's going to be one and done for him in qualifying. That is not ideal at all, because already he's, 5/10 off of the pole time, provisional pole time of Loris, and Bin Meister there, formerly known as Shadow, gets up into second place, just behind Loris. And then 2/10 back is Hashima in the second of the Ferraris. And there's been a collision down at the first corner. We've got a Haas without the front wing, so not going well for Haas at the moment here. I'm not sure which Haas that is. That is Malb, who's just hit the back of an Alfa Romeo, it seems. That might have been Lelin. It's all kicking off at the start of qualifying here.
And
it's now
we are
Lelin's
not
in the
even
gravel.
racing yet.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre start to the session with lots of drivers making mistakes. I was saying beforehand that it seems I've noticed a bit of a trend over the years of the drivers doing better in the pre-season race than in the first race, and the pressure clearly getting to everybody so far as plenty of mistakes coming in. So we'll see if everybody can clean things up a little bit as the session progresses. But yeah, we do still have people on actual laps, I do believe. But Binmeister will not be one of them. I think Tim Bleich is on a lap, and Kateshi on outlap there, his teammate, is going to be making his way to the final corner now. As getting a big slide on the exit there, but yeah, we've now got traffic queuing up at the final turn. Let's see if we can find that. It's the Alfa Romeo is going to get a very compromised exit. That's Loris, but I think he's on his way back to the pits anyway. So yeah, hectic start so far.
We are not racing yet, which kind of makes me expect something kind of crazy to happen during the first and probably even second lap of this race. So safety car bets are in. Bet on the chat with which lap will the safety car come out, because I'm pretty sure we'll see some of appearance for Ben Mailander.
Almost certainly. Yeah, it was. I wouldn't expect it to be too long, and now we have Fred jumping to the top of the timesheets with a very impressive 1:28 flat, so times tumbling immediately there as he goes 7/10 clear of Loris, who's now in second place. As the first lap's coming to a close, we've got Max Con about to cross the line here, and I think he might be starting a lap actually, because he was 36 seconds off the pace there, so clearly going for a second run. Jarman will follow him over the line, and Bacon Boys or Welbs making his way through the S's now, and the other of the two McLarens. But he is backed off there, so I think he might just be on another cool-down lap as well. Davey down to 13th now. He's X'd in the first corner, but let's stay with Max Gunn and see what he can do. I don't remember where he finished in the standings last year, but he's always towards the front of the field, and he's purple in the first sector so far, so we'll see if he can keep that up. A little bit of a lock-up there into turn 8, but nothing too major, still makes the apex nicely. Now down to the hardest corner on the track. Can he spot his braking point? Indeed he can. Gets it turned in beautifully there, just keeps it off the curb. So looking like a good lap for the now AlphaTauri driver so far, as he heads towards turn 11 here. Again, another very tricky traction zone. See if he's able to make it through cleanly there. And judging by the posture of the car, indeed he is. Looks nice and planted, so seems to be quite confident here. Not purple through the second sector, but he is indeed 2/10 up on his time, so should be some kind of improvement coming in, but perhaps lost a little bit of time from the start of his lap. Maybe that lockup did end up costing him. As into the final corner he goes now. Gets it in nicely. Is a little bit conservative on the exit there, but on the run to the line, let's see, opens the DRS, crosses the line, and is only able to improve one position to P10.
An improvement is still a good improvement. I was also thinking during the lap, like, this track is actually quite tricky. There are many places where you can actually gain a lot of lap time, or if you dare too much, actually lose a lot of it. For example, turn 1, you kinda want to brake later, but of course it's not useful if you brake too late in turn 1, because you get a wider line and then you compromise turn 2 and turn 3. And another example is also turn 4, where if you want to go too wide, you can try and go as wide as possible to gain as much lap time and speed for the next section as possible, but if you go too wide you invalidate, because you end up out of the track like other drivers did, like in 2021. And another place where I can see a lot of mistake happen in this track is turn 12, because if you haven't played Formula 1 games or anything, you may not know that the curb on the inside of turn 12 is kinda lethal. Like, if you touch it with one wheel, you'll probably very likely spin. At least it was like this in Formula 1 2022. Right now in 2023, it's not as prevalent as it was before, so you can save the car, but of course you can initiate a spin in this corner right here.
Indeed, yeah. It's not quite as lethal as it used to be, but still I wouldn't be taking any prisoners by taking too much curb there, but yeah, hopefully everybody's able to survive that race. I remember back in Season 4, I think we had a few incidents there, so we'll see if everybody's able to contend with that okay. As something to note as well is last week's race winner, and well, the winner of both of the last two races in Tier 1 of LRC, Bimpo, is currently down in P19, hasn't been able to set a lap so far, so I'd assume he's just made some mistakes somewhere, perhaps invalidated, and he's back in the pits with a bit more pressure than he'd like, with only 7.5 minutes left to go in the session, as most people are now in the pits, but we do have a few people making their way back out onto track. One of those being Tammy, who's jumped up to second whilst we weren't looking, I suppose, and is making his way around the final corner now. Weren't able to see the sector split through Sector 2, so we'll see if he's on his way back to the pits, and indeed he is, so no improvement for him just yet. And I believe Loris is on a lap as well, as far as I can tell he is, so we'll follow him on board now, in towards turn 11 here. Gets up to the apex nicely there. Runs right up to the curb. You don't want to touch the curb on the exit there. That one's just as deadly as this one on the inside, which Loris takes a nice spoonful of there, so clearly he's more confident than I am. Goes purple in Sector 2 as a reward, so Loris seems to be looking quick here. Got a very nice line through the penultimate corner there, and heads towards the final turn now. Gets on those brakes, and gets it turned in beautifully to the apex there. Just keeps it off the inside curb, takes loads of curb on the exit, opens the DRS on the run to the line, and it is P2 for Loris, but still 4/10 away from Fred.
I mean, Fred was usually he managed to pull out some great qualifying laps, especially during last season. So I expect to see some quick lap times today too. And right now he didn't disappoint. So we can see in that 4/10 gap. I'm not saying that it's gonna be an easy pole position, but right now I think it's looking quite comfortable for Fred.
Indeed it is, and probably what's helping that is not having Elias, one of his main rivals, being out of the session already, and also Bimpo yet to set a time. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that, as my controller has to reconnect there, but we are back once again as Slinks makes his way into the pits. He's had plenty of laps on those tyres. Yeah, only one lap apparently, okay. I take that back. It's Jarman who's got the most laps on the tyres at the moment, as everybody getting back up towards starting their final laps of the session now. We've still got 5.5 minutes left, so pressure not quite at its fullest just yet, but we'll see how it goes for everybody here, as we have Welbs currently down in 15th place and making his way into Sector 2 now. A little bit cautious there through the first of the S's, but keeping it nice and clean, and again just a bit untidy there, and losing the back end, like you say, on the exit down into turn 9 and 10, and losing the rear a little bit, but that actually seemed to help him, so he was able to effectively drift the car around the corner, improve the turn and circle, and gets a fairly decent exit with the DRS open in this rather pointless DRS zone, I have to say, but makes his way out of the corner now, keeps the traction nice and smooth through turn 11, through 12 now. Easy flat through that, keeps well clear of the curb, and it's a little bit clear of the apex there as well, through 13, so that would not be ideal for him. And in towards the final corner now. We'll see if he's able to improve here. And gets a decent line through there, as I think I Like Trains has just crossed the line to improve up to P6. Where can Bacon Boys go? That is only enough for P14 for him.
So yeah, quite a scruffy lap, but in the end it's at least enough for P14. We have to see if he has enough time to try and do another lap. I don't think he actually has, but you never know. And meanwhile we can actually see Tamer and the Alpine behind him, which I'm not sure which which one it is. I think starting another lap.
Yeah, that was Kateshi who's just crossed the line to go into P10 there, and his teammate currently in P9, so Alpine locking out the fifth row as it stands, but I would expect that will almost certainly change by the end of the session, as we have Tamer on a lap now, making his way out of turn 4 here. Currently third in the session. I reckon he'll be expecting a bit more than that. His qualifying pace has usually been very good in LRC, and he's 2/10 up through the first sector, right as I say that, as Bimpo now jumps up to P4, his first lap of the session. Still not good enough to come anywhere near challenging Fred. As Tammy taking a very wide line there, also using a little bit of drifting from the curb there to get him round the corner, taking what I would assume is probably the esports line on the exit now, as he heads towards turn 11. We'll ride back on board with him here. Gets it nicely into the apex. Looks like a good lap from Tammy so far here. Through turn 12. Takes, again, a load of curb there, so perhaps I was right about it being less lethal. He's purple through sector 2 now. Running the car out over the curb on the exit. Taking all the track and then some more to try and find any bit of lap time that he can, because he knows he needs it. He's 3.5 tenths up as he heads into the final corner, gets a little bit of oversteer on the curb there, or a bit of wheel spin, that's not ideal, opens the DRS as he heads to the line. It is pole, just for Tammy, goes just about ahead of Fred by, what is that? That's 8 thousandths of a second, and that is provisional pole for the Williams driver. Very impressive.
That was a great lap, and as you can see, Fred noticed that, and is going out on track once again to try and improve and beat the pole position lap. So interesting qualifying battle between the Williams and the Mercedes, and I think it's actually predicting quite an interesting race ahead of us.
It's looking very interesting so far, and also you've got to remember, however good the race is, we're also going to have Lemarias or Elias coming from the back of the field and trying to carve his way through as well, so don't count him out just yet. If there are safety cars, then he might just be able to throw his hat into the ring as well. And
we know for a fact that starting position matters, but only to a certain extent, so we may see interesting stuff here in this race.
Yeah, as Tim Bleish has now retired from the session as well, so I would assume, I didn't see the yellow flag if there was one, so that may have been on track or it may have been in the pit lane, but it's going to be P10 at best for him on the soft tyres, so we'll see how many people are able to improve. We've got MaxCon, who is also, I believe, on a lap now, currently still down in P15, and he'll be looking to do better than that, and making his way into turn 8 again. A little bit of a lockup, but not quite so much as last time by the looks of things. Gets a nice rotation there. And heads down towards turn 9, and he's going to have some traffic here. Dirty air from 2 cars, not just one. That's not going to be helping him at all, but he will get perhaps a little bit of a tow down this back street, supposed to make up for it, but really that would have been more of an inconvenience than anything for him. As he heads into turn 11 now, got to put that behind him. A little bit slow to get on the power there, very conservative. And making his way through turn 12, let's see his sector split here. He is 6 tenths up, so never mind, he's purple through the middle sector. Apparently the tow was working wonders down that little back street, and MaxCon on a very good lap so far. We'll see if he's able to convert that. Obviously, even if he does improve by 6 tenths, that's not going to be enough for pole position, not nearly, but let's see how far up the grid he can get out of the final corner. Again, a little bit conservative on the traction, but as he heads to the line, it is enough for P8 for MaxCon, so gets alongside his teammate I Like Trains, and I think he'll be a bit more content with that.
Yeah, I'd be pleased with such a lap, especially when you do an improvement of 6 to 7 tenths in a single lap, which, trust me, feels good. And meanwhile, I see the Ferrari having a purple first sector and a very white second sector, so I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for pole position, but surely it was a good improvement in the first sector, so we have to see if he can actually improve a little bit and maybe get to, I don't know, P5, P4 maybe. But let's see. Now to the other sector, down to traction, DRS open, and now getting into one of the fastest flowing sectors of the track. Let's see how it tails it. So, left-hand corner, very close to the curb, actually on the curb, very close to the limit, but not over it. And now, next few corners, using all the track width. Now, on the braking, let's see the split time. Oh, it's a little bit behind, so he lost a lot of time with that slide.
Indeed,
and now, the last few straights and the last corner. Let's see if we can save a little bit of lap time here.
Oh, a bit wide and losing it on the exit.
And I think it's not going to be enough.
Straight back to the pits for Hashima there. He's going to be starting P6 at best, as final times for qualifying are coming in now. So it's, P6 at best for the Ferrari. I think Malba's about to cross the line, but he's invalidated as well, getting all out of shape out of the final corner, so he'll be right back into the pits too. And we have Loris, I think, is going to be the next one, making his way through the final corner. He's about a tenth up, is what the split is saying so far, so let's see if he's able to find any more time than that. He is able to find a 10th, but it is only enough for P3. Still 3 tenths off of Fred, as Binmeister crosses the line there. He stays in P5. So everybody flooding across the line now. I think we've got one of the McLarens. That was Bacon Boys, gets up to P13, but a lot of people abandoning their laps here. Cooper goes 7th.
The Mercedes of Fred, I think it's going to do something.
Let's see. Fred is going to cross the line. Is he? No, he's backed out. So Fred not able to improve either. So Fred has to settle for P2, and that is going to be pole position for Tammy here in the first race here in Bahrain, with a lap just about good enough to beat Fred, and he'll be rewarded with prime position on the grid for the race. Very interesting qualifying session there.
Yep, and surely the stage is set for one of the most, how can I say it, competitive race we're expecting to see tonight. Maybe.
Yeah, it's if, like I say, if last week was anything to go by, then we should be expecting a thriller of a race coming up here. So certainly don't go anywhere. We'll run you through the grid, and then we'll take a short little break. So it is Tama on pole position then. Just about, as we say, over Fred in P2 in the Mercedes. Then it's Loris and Bimpo, last week's race winner, lines up in P4, alongside fellow countryman Bimmeister in P5. And we have Hashima down in P6. So pulling the weight for Ferrari so far, but I'm sure Elias will be back up the order in the actual race. Cooper P7 with a stronger qualifying session for Red Bull all round. And then it's Trains in 8th, Gateshi 9th, Slinks P10, Max Con and Nicky Rabbit, Nicky all-German row 6 in 11th and 12th. And apparently we have already finished looking through the grid. So yeah, we're going to go to a short break, but we'll be back once the drivers are ready. And once they've made all of the strategy plans to start the first race of the season. Don't go anywhere. And okay, we are back and underway with the formation lap. Not too long of a break there. I have not switched the scene. Let me do that. There we go. And yeah, everybody making their way around, and now is our chance to find out what strategies everybody has chosen. So let's pull up those tyres and see what it is. And we have a big old mix of strategies here today, with everyone on. We've got all three compounds being used, and immediately, just like you were saying in the break, Max, we have Lamoyes and Malb disqualified. So a bad day gets worse for those guys, unfortunately. But yeah, let's run through the strategy quickly. We have Tammy on mediums on pole position, Fred on hards in second, then Loris also on mediums in P3, so we would expect a better start from the outside row perhaps, but we'll see if that is the case. Bimpo is the only runner in the top 10 on softs, so going aggressive at the start of the race, we'll see if that works out for him. Then we have Bimmeister and Hashima, both on hard tyres, along with Trains, Cooper in between them on mediums. Then we have Kateshi also on mediums, then Slinks on hards, Maxcon on mediums. Icky Rabbit is the next soft runner out of the 5 that we have. And Tim Bleish down in P13 on hards. Bacon Boys or Welbs on mediums, Jarmin on hards, Lelin on mediums, Blundy and Davey on softs, Elias on hards, and Malbs on softs. So a very interesting mix of strategies here.
Yeah, if I were a pilot, I would choose the medium tires, but mainly because usually it's like the safe bet. it's not as slow as the hard tires at the beginning of the race. It's not as fast as the soft tires, but it's more durable than them, and it allows you to, decide the strategy better in the during the race if something happens, which, as we may expect, may happen, knowing this league.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. It's surely gonna be interesting, and we're gonna probably see Bimpo blast ahead during the first few laps, and then when the tire wear kicks in, getting reeled in by Fred and Loris. Also, I think we should see with a positive light the race of Lamau, Yas, and Maud, because yes, they just got disqualified but Paul mentioned lap, but usually it's kinda better to chill during the first few laps, especially with a league this chaotic, so I think it's not a bad thing that they are gonna start from behind and just watch the chaos unfold from there.
Yeah, that is certainly probably a safe way for them to go about these first few laps, because the first few corners here are very tight. So we'll see what everybody can do as all the drivers make their way into the grid now, as we get prepared to start out the first race of the season. Jarmin very far behind his grid slot, but he's able to pull back forwards, and so now that means it is time for us to get ready to get racing here for the first race of LRC. We'll see how long the lights decide to keep us waiting. And hopefully it's not going to be too long, because all of us are very eager to get this season underway. I have no idea if there's going to be some kind of bug, but we'll wait with bated breath for whenever they do decide to come on. Hopefully it's at some time today. Everybody is queued up on the grid, so yeah, hopefully Bugmasters aren't going to be letting us down here, but taking some time. Need to.
Fog is coming.
The fog is approaching from turn 1. We need to wake up the race director. We've clearly fallen asleep at the wheel here. And I am gonna hazard a guess that we might be having to do this all over again, build up the tension once more, because it looks like Codemasters have decided that we're not going to be racing today. So I suspect we might have to restart this lobby.
Bro, we forgot the race.
Yeah, guys. All right, that's gonna be the season over. Race 1 is done, and yeah, that's it. We don't need to race today.
I confirm we're starting the race. So
Yeah.
we gonna see the race start a little bit later on. So thank you for following our formation lab. We're gonna see you in a bit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we'll be back as soon as we can be once Codemasters have decided to let us go for our race. We'll see you in a few minutes' time. Alright, we are back once again. Thankfully that wasn't too long of a break, but we are here, back under the night sky in Bahrain, and we are going to give this one another try once again. I am here with Max, and we are ready to give this one a second go. There's going to be no formation lap this time, so it's going to be straight into the action. Everybody will be on the same strategies, lest they be disqualified, so yeah, it should be picking up exactly where we left off.
So with a fair warning from the
there we
race
go.
action, here we go.
All right.
Thank you for the commentaries.
Onto 5 red lights we go, and away we go for the first race of the season here in LSD. Who's got a good start? It's Fred. He's quick off the line, even on the hard tyres. Fred is going to be into P1 immediately. It's Bimpo on the softs, trying to get up the inside as well, but can't quite do it. He's going to be side by side with Loris. Can everybody make it through the first corner cleanly? Looks like they can so far. So good start by everyone there as the AlphaTauri loses the back end a little bit there, but everybody making it through without contact as things stand. And it is Fred who leads the way then on the hard tyres. Perfect start for him. And everybody...
Also, I'm a little bit concerned because is it me or there are more cars right now than there were like before?
No. It was 20 before, it's 20 now, so we're good. As everybody
right.
going, trying to get 2 wide and maybe even 3 wide into turn 8 there. We have a move up the inside from I Like Trains, who might even make that a double move. Going to try and go around the outside of turn 9 as he surely has to back out of that. Indeed, he just runs over the curb now as well. Going to be going well out wide there, and what looked like potentially a double move has ended up with a double position loss. He drops back down to P9, and Icky Rabbit, or Cooper here, about to look for a move up the inside of Hashima, going to be very close together, but both of them just about avoid contact, and now through goes Icky Rabbit up the inside, going to be side by side as they head around turn 12 here. Some excellent racing so far, and a great move by the Haas driver. Can he get it done round the outside of turn 13? Yes, he can. So up to P6, but he's going to be under pressure straight away, even on the soft tyres. Hashima gets breezes right back past him into the final corner, as it's absolute chaotic racing at the start, but everybody has kept it clean so far.
Yep, and with the fog falling out on the main straight, we see
now
a three-way battle
three
for
wide
turn 1.
Into turn 1,
And
Bimpo
he's
making it
gonna
up
land
the
in the
inside, and he makes it stick as well, no less. Bimpo into the lead of the race on the softs. That's exactly what he needed. Meanwhile, Fred is just about able to fend off Tammy, but for how long? Tammy's going to get back up the inside now on the medium tyres. He's going to have more grip. Into turn 4 they go, getting very close, making a little bit of contact there. Fred's going to get pushed out wide ever so slightly, but that is Tammy through into second place, so it's not quite pole position where he started, but he is back up into P2 now, and Bimpo with the perfect start up into P1 already.
Meanwhile, the war between the Ferrari and the Haas continues, and it's raging on as hard as possible, with XE getting down the outside of that turn, now into turn 1 and 10. The Ferrari tries to go round the inside once again, and they are once again side by side. No DRS in the second lap, so we're gonna see who has the balls to brake later during turn, I think it was 11? Yep, I think it's turn 11. So let's see who's gonna come out on top. Very close. The AlphaTauri gets closer, but not close enough for a maneuver, and the Ferrari gets ahead for now on this set of corners. Now into turn 13, we're gonna see if the Ferrari can actually stay there, or if he has to see the position, but I think they're gonna fall in a little bit of a line. 4.4 seconds lost to the top 5, which are of course fighting all together for the lead. And in all of this, well, fighting all around in this track, and no crashes just yet.
Yeah, let's be careful not to jinx it, of course, but here we go. We have Icky Rabbit making a move once again. Doesn't seem to have the straight line speed advantage, so we'll see if Max got, or I Like Train, sorry, might be looking to capitalise on that. Not quite able to, as now Icky Rabbit all over the curbs into the first corner there. Going to be on the outside. Meanwhile, Slink's trying to make a move on Max in the background, by the looks of things. Those two going side by side, and they're still side by side on the exit of the corner. Now they're going to go 3 wide up ahead into turn 4 here. I Like Train's deciding to go for the move up the inside, way deep into the corner. Goes Icky Rabbit, but it works out for him. There's contact between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri as Hashima gets cycled out now. Cooper barging his way through as well. Still side by side is Slinks and Maxcon. There's getting very frosty down in the midfield here. Contact again from a McLaren, and now round goes the Red Bull into a half spin. That is Hashima and Cooper making contact again there on the exit of turn 8, all getting backed up in towards turn 9 and 10 here, and sliding their way through the corners. It's a sea of cars here in the middle of the pack, and somehow everybody's still in the race.
And I have to wonder if someone got a little bit of damage from that kind of contact, because it was really scrappy down there, and we have to wonder how is this gonna turn out, because everything is happening right now on lap 3, and now the DRS is also available, and people are still touching each other.
Ooh, and the Red Bull makes contact and
not
spins
great
it.
ways.
Cooper again. It's not going well for him. Second half spin in the lap. He's still managed to not get damage from that, but he's going to drop down to the back of the queue now. So dive bomb and a half, and now contact round. There's the pile up, and that is Hashima into the side of
And
the
AlphaTauri.
Yep, safety car straight out for that. No surprise, as an absolute swarm of cars makes their way into the pits. Everybody clearly picking up wing damage from that, and yeah, it was bound to boil over at some point, and that has happened right now. But the leaders have not been able to pit, so these guys, despite the contact, might actually gain an advantage from that.
Yeah, interestingly enough, yep. And I think the only one that may have an issue on the top 5 is probably either Fred, which if I remember correctly, is on the hard tires. Because, you know, with the hard tires, you may wonder or maybe prefer to go as long as possible and get as much of a distance from the other people. And with this, the distance will be reduced to literally 0. And the other person is Pimple, because on the soft tires, he may want to, you know, run as far as possible before the tires run out, which is soon enough, and then switch it into either the mediums or the hard tires. I think the hard tires maybe are a little bit better. So right now, with the distance getting set back to 0 and people actually having a free pit stop behind the safety car, this is gonna be quite a difficult situation for the top 5. So we're gonna wonder who is gonna change strategy and which strategy are they gonna choose.
Well, it's something that we have to point out, though, is they didn't pick up the safety car, did the leaders, so they will still have a chance to pit, and I don't think they'll lose too much time from doing so, so might not be over just yet for the likes of Bimpo, like you say, and I would imagine he's probably going to be coming straight into the pits here at the end of this lap. I don't know if he can go to the end, but he's probably going to have to try something here. Starting on those soft tyres, they will wear out quite quickly, you'd imagine. So let's see. He is not going to pit. He fakes out the last second. Fred does come in, though, alongside Loris. And yeah, so let's see, both of the hard tyre runners, one of the hard tyre runners of Fred and medium tyre runner of Loris comes in. So that's an interesting call from Fred, gets onto a set of mediums. He won't be able to go to the end on those, surely, but yeah, that's quite a strange strategy from him.
I mean, to be completely fair, probably Bimpo or everyone else who could have done a pit. Like right now, the Haas was doing a double pit stop, as we can see. If someone went onto the hard tires right now, I think he'd have a big troublesome time to try and get to the end with that tire wear. So right now, also, Fred got a penalty for collision with Cuba.
Oh, yeah, that is a good spot there. He seems to have, he's got his front wing intact still, so not picked up any damage from that. But Fred, with a bit of a rookie error there, I suppose, and it's going to be caught out by that. Kateshi also has picked up a penalty. I'll see if I can figure out how to show... yeah, there we go. 5 seconds of penalties for each of them. And Hashima with a drive-through.
Yeah, the drive-through, I think, is what it was due for... Wait, actually, the drive-through is because it's not post-pitting under the pit lanes for safety car infraction, I think. So I don't know exactly what he did, but surely it's not something good. Also, it's coming out right now from the pit lane with medium tires, and I expect everyone on the mediums to expect either a safety car or maybe another stop. So everyone is ironically still on the same strategy, like on one stop, but it's gonna be quite different because now people are on different tires. They swapped all things around. There are people with newer tires, someone with old tires, so it's gonna be quite chaotic, that's for sure.
Yeah, and will be another lap under safety car here, as Elias is still quite a way behind the back of the pack. He wasn't really, as far as I could see, I think the blockade of cars kind of impeded him from making any progress at the start of the race there, so back down to last place he will go, and he'll have it all to do again, just with slightly less laps this time, as Ferrari now not looking great for them so far, but only up from here. They're 19th and 20th, can't get any worse, so we'll see how they can improve as the fog descends on the start-finish straight once again. We'll ride on board instead. And yeah, you can see we have most of the field on medium tyres now, but a split between the wear on those mediums. We have the top 9 using 5-lap old tyres. Everyone on the top line hasn't pit, and then everyone from Loris downwards has pit. So, yeah, Loris was one of 4 drivers who went for the, as you were saying, slightly bold strategy here of presumably trying to go hard to the end of the race. We'll see if that works out for them. Will be certainly difficult. They may end up having to make another stop towards the end, but it would be a big old game for them if they can. And Loris especially.
I'm not too much of an expert of Formula 1 2023, but if I have to guess, probably from lap 9 to lap 29, it's gonna be possible to go from the hard tires to the end.
Yes.
But no, I'm no magician, no mathematician, so we'll have to see if it works.
And
or not.
Slinks has spun. Oh wow, he's lucky that he ghosted there. I just noticed him dropping down the order. Slinks has spun out under safety car on the exit of turn 8 there, so he drops well down the order there. I think he was running in the top 9. I don't remember where exactly, but he's going to drop down to 17th place there. So it's not a very costly mistake for him.
Yeah, that's going to be quite frustrating because, you can kind of accept to lose position during a racing period, but behind the safety car, that's going to be harsh on him.
And speaking of behind the safety car, I would expect, right on cue, safety car is going to be in this lap. So Bimpo, still on those soft tyres, we'll see how long that advantage lasts. He's been able to save them, of course, a bit under these 2 or 3 laps of safety car conditions, so shouldn't have too much more wear than he did once Bernd did make his way out of the pit lane, but we'll see. And we'll see how quickly everyone is able to heat up their tyres. I would expect perhaps Binmeister and I Like Trains in 3rd and 4th respectively might struggle a little bit on this restart to all of the medium tyre runners around them. So let's wait and see. We will ride on board with Bimpo, the leader of the race. He's won the last 2 races and he's looking to do it again, but let's see if he can start off his goal strong with a good restart here. Making his way to the line, he's going to make everybody wait a little bit longer, but now he gets the throttle down and gets this race back underway. So let's see. Well, we can't see. Let's ride on board and see if anybody's able to challenge him. It's not been a perfect restart, and Tama's going to go for it on the inside here, in towards turn 1. And can he get it stopped in time? It looks like yes he can, but he's not alongside enough to make the move, so he has to back out and settle for P2 on that one, as now everybody seems to have made it through the first corner cleanly there, once again, so good job by all the drivers here. As everybody jostling for position on the restart, see if anybody's looking to make some moves. We have moves further back in the field. It's Malb and Jarman going side by side. Meanwhile, behind them, we had 3 wide for a second, as Elias has had a fantastic restart, up to P14 already, so he's absolutely going for it here, wasting no time. As you can see up the road, we have Haas on AlphaTauri, side by side as Maxcon and Icky Rabbit, and up the road, Fred was making a move on Welbs there, and gets up into P5. And it is Icky Rabbit who's going to stay ahead of the AlphaTauri for the time being. Everybody making their way through turn 10. I think there's saw a little bit of contact, but it seems mostly clean. Everybody keeps in the right direction, and Fred up to P4 now.
I'd like to point out an interesting thing, which is the fact that Kateshi, Cupa, and the other Ferrari driver actually went into the pit lane at the race restart. And I have no idea why, because they went on those soft tires and Cupa on hard tires. Yeah. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what they are literally cooking, but we're going to see.
That's a very bizarre strategy. Obviously, Hashima will have to, has served his drive-through penalty by the lots of things, and now we have a spin for Slinks, and safety car back out again. That was perhaps a bit of a tame safety car. He has lost his front wing there, Slinks, but I guess the racing has been paused immediately, and now we have once again another rush of cars into the pit lane. As I would imagine this is going to be all of the drivers who didn't stop the first time now going to come in and going to be on what you'd imagine is a much better strategy than everyone who stopped on the first safety car.
Yeah, I expect a big flurry of hard tires, even though I see a medium tires going on to I Like Trains, which is kinda risky as a strategy, let's say, but I'm not here to criticize other people's strategy, so let's see how it plays out for them. And in all of this, also the people who pit at the race restart are also catching back up into the grid, and we have to see what they are gonna do now that they have catch back up into the grid slots they were.
Yeah, we have a very mixed up grid at this point in the race, with Fred back into the lead as he was early on, and Loris into second. But then, like I said, because of those pit stops, we have Icky Rabbit into P3 now, Tim Bleish fourth, Malps and the other Haas in P5, reserving, and Elias all of a sudden up into P6. So he will still have another pit stop to make, unlike a lot of the guys who've just put onto a set of hard tyres. But He's right up at the front of the field, and he is absolutely well in with a shout, I would say, at getting a very strong result from this race and recovering from the dreadful qualifying. And yeah, it's now roughly a 50-50 split of medium and hard runners, as now Binmeister picks up a time penalty once again, just like Fred has. And that's going to be another 5 seconds for him for contacting the safety car. No damage, but yeah, some mistakes here. Everybody running very close together, I have to say. Should probably spread out a little bit to avoid any more penalties. But yeah, the strategy is going to be quite interesting to keep an eye on towards the end here, because if those hard tyre runners who pit under the first safety car do try and go to the end, then they will have track position advantage, but their tyre advantage come the end of the race will be, well, I would imagine we might have a situation where in the final few laps their tyres are going off the cliff, and so suddenly all of the other hard runners are able to try and breeze past them.
Yeah, personally, I keep an eye on Maxcon, Slinks also, and Doscuba, because they are all three on hard tires, new hard tires. And I expect maybe they will maybe try to go to the end. Tamer also and Bimpo are two other people that may try and go to the end, because we are on lap 9 out of 29 with new hard tires, and maybe I think it's doable to try and go to the end. So I'd keep an eye on these guys, because people like Fred, Loris, Rabbit, and Tim Blash, they could try to go to the end with the tires they have right now, but it's gonna be very, very difficult. So it's gonna be quite a difficult choice for all of them. I expect them to try, but it's not going to be easy.
Indeed, and we've got to factor into that as well whether there will be more safety cars in this race. We've had 2 in a row, effectively, there. As the saying goes, cautions breed cautions, and that is what we have seen here, unfortunately, but we will keep our fingers crossed that we're able to have a clean restart this time around, and I would guess that that's going to be at the end of this lap, as Kateshi makes his way up to the back of the field now. As you can see, rejoining the fray. Obviously the game puts on that bizarre limiter right as you catch up to the field, so hopefully he doesn't end up picking up any penalties for that, but seems like he'll be okay. And yeah.
And I think we're gonna go racing at the end of this lap, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see what Codemasters decides, if they've had enough fun with us today. But yeah, we've got Fred will be leading the way, and Loris in second place on hard tyres. And we will, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Safety car will be announcing whether it's in or not now, and there we go. It is going to be in at the end of this lap, so not going to keep us waiting then. That's good. And we still have 20 laps of racing left to go, and that will be kicked off once Fred decides to put the power down and get the race back underway again.
In all of this, remember that Loris still has that penalty, which is going to hurt a little.
Fred has the penalty.
Yep, he got it. I think it was speeding into the pit. No, sorry, it was contact with Cuba, if I remember correctly. So it's going to be interesting.
And Fred has gone now. He goes before the final corner. He's very eager there, losing traction a bit on the exit, but he was able to catch Loris napping there by going so early. So great restart by Fred. He's going to be home and trying to turn 1 effectively. Icky Rabbit again was a bit slow. Everybody's spread out there by the tactics of the Mercedes driver, so very nice restart by him. We'll see if anybody's able to go for a move. I think the Alpha and Mayo getting quite close, but well, they're not able to go for a move just yet. So it's going to be a very calm and sensible restart so far, as we have Hashima and Slinks going side by side down towards the back of the field. Medium tyre runner versus hard tyre runner, and Slinks actually has got some end plate damage already, so that's not going to be doing him any favours. Meanwhile, we have Binmeister and Leland swapping places in the midfield there, as Binmeister gets up ahead and into P11.
I also like to point out that Fred used the medium tires to his advantage and tried to get out of the rest position from Loris, and notice we can see a
contact, and out of the race goes Leland and Tamer. That's one of the contenders for the race win. Just minor contact on the exit of turn 8, and 2 cars out, and safety car is back out again. Oh,
boy.
It's a torrid time of things for the drivers here. We're not really getting the race that we were expecting. I suppose this is what happens when we overpromise. Suddenly now we're under-delivering, but yeah, we have Leland and Tamer, more importantly. No disrespect to Leland, but he is not a full-time driver, so Tamer, more importantly for the championship, is out of the race on, well, on the day that he started on pole. That is not good at all for him.
Yeah, I mean, surely that's not gonna make him too happy, let's say, at the end of this race. But it's actually quite strange that we had 3 safety cars but just 2 retirements. So
And Fred into the
interesting.
pits. So
Fred decided that those tires are not going to the end, sensibly. Lamar, yes, also does the same thing, and also he serves the penalty. Can you do that under the safety car?
Indeed you can, yeah. So that
All
will
right,
be
makes sense.
penalty done for him. Set of hard tyres, and Fred is going to the end now. No more penalties as long as he doesn't hit anyone else under this safety car. And actually, a lot of drivers coming in, so I'd imagine some of the drivers who pit under the first safety car perhaps regretting that decision and taking this opportunity to change strategies once again. So, yeah, it's nobody can decide. We've got musical chairs as the strategy in this race, so yeah, quite hard to keep on top of.
Yeah, truth be told, probably the strategy doesn't really matter at this point because we had so many safety cars that at this point you reach a point where the hard tires can go to the end and you have literally no reason to not go on the hard tires and keep the same strategy as everyone else. So I think we're gonna have a straight fight for all of these people to the end of the race.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Apart from the medium runners, though, there a lot of people did pit onto the mediums. So either the tyre wear is going to be either the tyre wear is expected to be very low here, or we are going to have some people still going for another pit stop. But I can't imagine why you would do that, to be honest. So yeah, I guess those guys are going to try to go to the end, but I think they will be suffering with some tyre wear here, and perhaps...
I actually think the mediums can go to the end, but once again, you're gonna get hit by tower at the end of the stint, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how those guys fare. Unfortunately, they don't even have track position anymore, so we'll hope for their sake that there's not too much tyre wear, and hopefully for everyone's sake, we have less tyre wear, less strategy, and more racing. We can actually get to see what the drivers have on offer. So, in case you blinked, the grid order now is Loris from Icky Rabbit in P2, then Tim Bleish now up to 3rd place, and Malb in P4. So, all the same up at the top of the field there, just Fred making way for everyone to gain a position. Then Jarman on those quite worn out medium tyres, so we are still going to have at least 3, I would say at least 4 more people coming into the pits. I think Icky Rabbit, Tim Bleish, Jarman, and I Like Trains, I think, are all going to have to pit again, most likely, as long as there's not too many more safety cars. But obviously, that we can't promise that.
Well, that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. And then obviously Loris and Malb, who both pit under the first safety car, still on those hard tyres. So, like you say, the tyre wear will be much more minimal for them than it would have been without all of the safety cars, but I do still think that it is going to, even if it doesn't force them into the pits, I think it will affect the race pace quite a bit towards the end of this one.
Yeah, especially considering that 7 laps old hard tires are going to be quite worn near the end of the race, if they actually can get to the end of the race. So, I mean, surely the safety car is helping with the tyre wear, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, indeed. And I would say probably at this point in the race, the best placed drivers are probably going to be Fred and Lamarias or Elias down in 9th and 10th. They have effectively fresh hard tyres, which are 3 laps younger than those of Naxcon and Bimpo. So we'll see if Naxcon and Bimpo are able to keep them behind, and obviously I Like Trains there as well, but on mediums, so I would expect him to, like we say, be struggling towards the end of the race, if not having to pit. But yeah, obviously, there could be more safety cars, so all of my predictions may yet be thrown out the window.
We'll have to see. I predict a lot of chaos. People from from Fred below, going for it at full speed at the restart, which is happening, of course, right now. And, well, I hope no more crashes, no more safety cars, even though that's wishful thinking. And up to you for the restart commentary.
Well, I can only agree with you on that one, in hoping and praying that this time we're going to be able to keep it clean. I reckon if we can, I think if we can make it past the first lap on the restart, then we should be okay. So I challenge all of the drivers to do that, and we'll see if they're able to rise to the occasion. And we will now ride on board with Loris here, making his way into the final corner. We'll see when he goes. We've seen a late start from Bimpo, we've seen an early start from Fred. Loris is going to be going a little bit later, like the Aston driver. Gets the power down now, and let's see if he's able to get a good restart. Seems to have gotten a good jump on Icky Rabbit there, and we'll see. And Malb actually got a great restart. He's going to be side by side immediately there and get him past. And now Icky Rabbit's going to try and have a look at the outside, and Loris locks up, goes deep into turn 1, and is going to have a whole host of cars come up the inside. 3 wide now through turns 2 and 3. That is incredibly dangerous, and that was always going to happen. We've got cars off into the wall, and we've got out of the race is Jarmin. Bimpo's got front wing damage, might have even lost the whole front wing, and the safety car, well, you'd never guess it, is out again. We made it a whole 3 corners.
God damn it, this is like the 4th one this race. Also, we can see that Loris got involved in the crash, but not that it really matters at this point, because he can just beat the safety car and get back into the group.
Yeah, Fred without a front wing as well. He was one of the many victims of that one, and perhaps the biggest accident of the lot. So, yeah, seems like we're, I suppose next time, once we get the next restart, we're going to be having a whole field accident into the first corner. So, we'll see. We'll see if anyone can top that one. But
you know what, lads? I think I'm going to go take a drink. I'll come back later for the race to start, so I'll be back very soon.
Entirely understandable. We have a Haas 1-2 now, all of a sudden, with Icky Rabbit leading the way. Actually managed to keep it clean with a very nice move on the restart there. Just pressurised Loris into a mistake, and gets himself P1 as a reward. Malb up into second. He's, as we say, only reserving for this race, but doing a stellar job for the Haas team. Unfortunately, rule for this season, new rule, his reserves will not be accruing any points, and as far as I know, that extends to Constructors' Championship as well. So Malb is, unfortunately, his efforts may be slightly in vain, but he can still be proud of what he's done. And everybody getting backed up a little bit there. So let's see who's into the pits this time then. We have Tim Blige is going to be in, and Loris, oh my gosh, seems to be struggling with the brakes a little bit there. Perhaps needs to tweak the brake bias, and yeah, he just about avoids contact as he heads into the pit lane. And he'll be joined by Kateshi, Blundy, Fred, who lost his front wing, I Like Trains, and Bimpo, who are all making their way in, and Tim Blige in as well. And it's going to be medium tyres for all of those guys, apart from Tim Blige. So clearly we're not expecting too much tyre wear, and perhaps we're expecting even more safety cars to the end of this one. It's been a mess of a race so far, I hate to say, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe 4th time's the charm instead of 3rd time. And never mind, we've been disconnected from the session, so I suppose it can always get worse.
Oh boy, 14 laps of the race in the safety car. I surely hope something great happened during these 14 laps.
Well, we'll be back in a second. Actually, never mind. I guess we won't be back in a second because I've just realised we're still in the lobby. So I don't know what to do about this. I'll leave and rejoin, and then hopefully we'll be back before the safety car restart, part 4. We'll see you in a moment. Alright, we are back in, and here once again. Thankfully we did not miss the race restart. We're still here under the safety car. This time apparently without game audio, so I don't know if that's just on my end. Nope, seems like we don't actually have sound. So, oh no, we do have sound, but oh, there we go, okay, now we have sound. It's a strange day here.
I mean, it's Codemasters. Usually these kind of things happen, sadly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does tend to be the case. Let's bring back on the strategy, and actually, that gives us a chance to see who's winning the record for most pit stops in this race. Currently, that is going to the Alpine of Kateshi on his 4th stop, although we have Bimpo back into the pits as well, making his 3rd pit stop of the race, I believe. Well, yep, there we go, 3rd stop. So he's onto hard tyres, so he's going to be the only driver at the back of the field on hards aside from Tim Bleish, and those are worn hards as well, so it's a curious decision. I would have to guess he must have had damage there.
I didn't see the people in the pit lane repairing damage, but we also seen just a fraction of the pit stops, so I have no idea. And also I have to wonder, does this mean we'll have like 2 more laps of safety car because we have to wait for Bimbo to get back into the queue, or will like, you know, Burma Lander go like, yeah, fuck that, and go back into the pit lane? We'll find out very soon.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Sometimes the F1 game is ruthless and just leaves the back markers behind, but I would guess that you might be right in your theory of an extra lap here. Unfortunate as it is for us. Let's see. And yeah, indeed that is going to be the case. So I'll go round one more time in case you hadn't seen enough laps behind the safety car today. I think...
You know, the real thing we should ask ourselves is like, how many safety cars can you actually get in a race? Because I know that in the Codemasters games there's like a limit after which the safety car stops coming out. So
we'll have to wait and see. The record, I believe, from either, I don't remember if it was LLC or another league that I've been in, but the most that I've seen is 5 safety cars in one race. So we'll see if we can beat that today. Hopefully not. And oh, now we've got a crash on the exit of the final corner under safety car conditions because the race wasn't insane enough. Wells is now out of the race.
You had to wait for the green flag for the other safety car. God damn it.
All right. Well, I suppose they're getting the crashes in early. Slink's involved in what must be about his 4th incident of the race at this point. As his teammate is now going to close back up to him, and he's lost his front wing, but curiously enough decided not to come into the pits this time, so I have no clue what the strategy is there. Tim Bleish has made another pit stop, so Alpine absolutely gunning for that pit stop record today. As they're now up to
realise that he'll literally have to start the race with that front wing missing.
Yeah, that's a strange call from him. Don't know why he decided to stay up.
I think people got a penalty because he overtook Slinks under the safety car. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. Well, what I saw is that Slinks teleported behind Bimpo, so I don't know if he's. I don't know if that is why he got the penalty. I wasn't paying that much attention, I'll be honest. But we have Shadow or Binmeister with 10 seconds of penalties now, so he's been involved in another incident under safety car clearly, but. Yeah, it's
in all of this,
a bizarre old race. And now we've got another crash. Slinks is now out of the race, as you see in the bottom of your picture. And, well, to be honest, I have to say, that's probably for the best for the rest of the drivers in the race, because, unfortunately, he's been involved in many, many incidents. And, well, that was one too many for him. Perhaps the front wing damage was too much for him to keep control of the car. Luckily, Tim Bleish, the other driver involved, doesn't seem to have any damage from that. So let's see, is that going to be another lap of safety car? I didn't actually see, but it seems like Loris is backing up, so I think we are going to be getting underway.
And in all this, we don't need to have the safety car distract us from the fact that we have a Haas 1-2 right now.
Exactly. I pointed that out before the break, and let's see how long they can keep it that way for. We'll ride on board with with Icky Rabbit, and we'll see how our 4th race restart goes. Goes a little bit early and has to brake check his teammate there. Luckily no contact, but that was very sketchy. Stewards might be interested in that one, but we're underway now for the 4th restart of the race, and now we've got 4 wide into turn 1. That's not going to work either, and we've got another crash already. And is anybody going to be out of the race this time? We've got absolute pandemonium. So you remember when I said about the 20-car pile-up at turn 1? Turns out I was completely right, as everybody seems to have completely forgotten how to drive here, and let's see if anybody's able to have a reasonable battle up further up the field. We've got Kateshi here getting involved with some moves with the Red Bull Cooper. Somehow we haven't got a safety car though.
I swear, when I saw 5 cars going side by side,
now contact.
I just knew this was going to happen.
This is an absolutely ridiculous race. We've got Kateshi now going up the inside. He just made contact with one of these drivers, I don't even know which one it was at this point, trying to get up the inside at turn 9 there. Unfortunately, he's not had the exit that he desires, so he'll drop back to 7th. Let's see if he's able to go for a re-overtake move here. No, thinks sensibly for once. We haven't seen much of that today, but decides to back out of it. And now, well, backs out of the track as well. And through goes Fred, so another place gain for him. But still, Fred has another penalty now, so we'll see whatever that means. And up at the front of the field, MaxCon is into the lead of the race now as he makes a move on Loris and Hashima, who is apparently in the lead. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, the Red Bull is going for it.
We've got side-by-side action everywhere here into the final corner, and forced out wide there is Fred this time, but luckily no contact yet as the drivers enter the fog on the start-finish straight. We'll ride on board instead to see if we can see what's going on. We've got Maxcon sort of storming away with things at the moment, so it managed to get a bit of a lead, but now contact. Hashima goes too late on the brakes, goes straight on, and safety car number 4. Number 4, 5, I've forgotten.
It's the 5, it's the 5th.
It's the 5th one. So there we go. It was a matter of time. Elias is down to 15th for one of many reasons. I'm sure somebody will probably know why. I don't know. Hashima with no front wing. That is what I believe brought out the safety car this time. And yeah, well, we get a breather, I guess, after a whole 2 laps of racing.
You know, when I saw 5 cars going to turn 1, all side by side, I already knew something was going to happen. And when I saw the Ferrari going into the braking zone with the slipstream of the car ahead and the other car on the right side, I already knew that something was going to happen. And, you know, it happened. And now we got a safety car. And once again, I have no idea how the strategy are meant to be played, because at this point I don't think there's really a strategy.
No.
It's also chaotic that everyone is just trying to survive their best.
Well, so Icky Rabbit, the race leader at the start of this of the previous restart, now down in last place, but he has pit onto a set of soft tyres, so I would say that is probably a quite smart call at this point in the race, because he's going to be going to the end now, and we'll have, for the, well, however many racing laps we do actually get, he'll be able to make some inroads and perhaps be able to hang back and avoid whatever chaos ensues on the next restart by virtue of being at the back of the field, and has Elias just in front of him for company. And,
I think we reached the point where the game stops deploying safety cars because we had too many.
I'll be honest, I hope you're right. I hope you're correct on that one. I would love nothing more than to see 10 laps of green flag racing. We will have Binmeister drop to the back of the field still yet, because he has no front wing, so more drivers on their way in.
Let's make it 9 laps.
Yeah, so we'll see how everybody decides to act here. I would imagine it's going to be almost all soft tyres, and a lot of penalties to be served as well. Surprise, surprise. Bimpo actually curiously decided to stay out on a 10-lap old set of hards and with a time penalty. So that's a curious strategy from him, from the driver who has won the last 2 races. One of those in Brazil being from a very good strategy. So perhaps might just be either dropping the ball a bit here, or maybe knows something we don't. Perhaps knows that there is actually going to be more safety cars and is planning on just keeping the track position. I don't know, but
if I have to guess, Pimple, maybe if we got correct that he got the penalty for overtaking under the yellow flags because of a bug, then I think he's gonna probably ask the steward to remove the penalty after the race. Which I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll find out later.
Yeah, the problem with that is he'll be able to get one of them removed, but the other one will not be able to get removed, you would imagine, unless something else happened. But
that's half of the plan, because the main thing is, at this point, with all this chaos in the safety cars, I don't think it's really worth to pit under the safety car at this point. It's just better to pick track position and wait for the chaos to happen.
I think it's just a case of make it up as you go along. I have to say, we're 19 laps into the race, still 10 to go, so I'm sure plenty of chapters left in this one. I have to send out my solemn condolences to the stewards, who will not be leaving the track for the next 16 weeks. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing them for the rest of the season. They will still be deciphering the outcome of this race by the time that we reach Brazil at the end of the year. So if there are any slip-ups, that'll be why.
If you just tuned in and you're wondering who's winning, trust me, we have no idea.
We don't know. Loris is P1, that means absolutely nothing. He was P1 2 restarts ago, then dropped down towards the back of the field, and now he's back up to P1 again. So, yeah, the order is likely to completely change once again here. Cooper currently in second place with Fred in third. Blundy now up into P4. He's one of the drivers who hadn't actually been in the top 5 yet in this race, but he's there now. And I think that's, as I look down the field, I think that is now every single driver has been in the top 5 at some point, or everybody who's still left in the race, that is. So, yeah, everyone getting the run out towards the front of the field. Tim Bleish currently in 5th place, the last of the medium tyre runners, so the last apart from Elias, who's sandwiched in between 4 soft runners down in P11. We'll see how he's able to cope with that on the restart. Perhaps thinks he's got a pace advantage as Max can, playing a risky game there, gets very close to the Aston Martin ahead of him, but thankfully no contact, no damage. And yeah, so far we've had no crashes under this safety car, so that's an improvement.
And we have just to wait for the race restart, which will happen this lap for, I think, 9, or at this point, I think 8 laps of green flag racing, hopefully. And now, as people get ready to destroy the competition, either literally and metaphorically, we get ready for the green flag racing we have been starving for at least 20 laps now.
Yeah, I think everybody watching this race, and probably everybody driving in it too, is going to be praying that your theory about 5 being the maximum amount of safety cars being correct, because if there are any more, I think I might just pass out. But either way, we don't know. Who knows what will happen? Let's see if the drivers have perhaps the 5th time learned their lesson and will be taking this restart a little bit more cautiously. Who knows? I'm probably being very optimistic. So, safety car in this lap, I guess. Yep, there we go, green flag. The game's decided it's not even going to tell us anymore, so that's fine. Loris will be doing this for 2nd, 3rd time, I don't remember at this point, I think it's the 2nd. And we'll see if his 2nd attempt at a restart is better than his 1st, and see if he can make it past the 1st corner. Everybody queuing up behind, and getting very close together. So, we ride on board again. We have 8 laps of green flag racing, hopefully, left to go in this race. Loris is going to get things underway once he makes his way around this final corner. And once he puts his foot down, as he does now, we are going to get to see if the drivers are going to be able to keep it clean for the final remaining 8 laps of this race. We've got side-by-side action already here, perhaps even overtakes before the line. We'll see if any penalties come through. Fred's up into 3rd place, going to try and make that P2 into the 1st corner. Going to be side-by-side with Cooper, and seems to have gotten the move done nicely there, as everybody through roughly cleanly. A little bit of contact there, I think, between I Like Trains and somebody else, but everybody's made it through the 1st sector, or so far anyway, and heading towards turn 4 now. We've got battles up the road. You see a Williams going side by side there. That's Tim Bleish and Blundy, who've made it side by side through turn 4. A little bit of contact, banging wheels. Out wide goes Blundy there. Maxgon's going to try and capitalise on that now. Gets up the inside as they head towards turn 8. And gets to the inside but doesn't have the traction by the looks of things, and is going to drop back down. Meanwhile, side by side is Fred, trying to go on the outside for the lead of the race here. He's looking very feisty on the restart. Can everybody make it through turns 9 and 10 cleanly? It looks like they can, so we're going strong so far, and Fred is about to make a move for the lead. Is he? No, not quite close enough.
I have a very controversial question, which is this actually natural selection in action? Other than that, we can see the battle for the lead right now between Loris and Fred, going to the absolute limit of the track, and going right now towards the last 2 corners before the main straight, which still doesn't have DRS at this point of the race, incredibly, after 21 laps of racing. But we can see now the better traction for Fred, even though they are on same same old tires. And now Fred goes for it down the inside. Let's see if Loris keeps waiting or will try something incredible. He's going into the slipstream, decides to brake a little bit earlier to avoid contact, of course. And now through turn 1 and 2, we can see also the Red Bull of Cuba going to the inside of Tim Bleish, and meanwhile battle all around the way in the rest of the grid.
Of course, as it has always been. This time it's Maxgon and Elias who are going to be side by side into turn 4. Elias, as we say, one of the only drivers on the mediums down the order. And now we've got a spin for a Red Bull, and that is it's Cooper, sorry. Yeah, Cooper spun into the wall and has knocked off his front wing. Unfortunately for him, no more safety cars at this time, so we'll see if he's able to recover. But I think you might have been right. We've got no safety cars just yet, and that might be a painful end to a painful race for Cooper today, unfortunately. It's everybody getting checked up here on the exit of turn 10. Elias still not quite been able to make the move yet. He's going to try it again here though. Up the inside he'll go and gets ahead of Maxgon way later on the brakes. Maxgon tries a little switchback, but just like we saw in qualifying, he's very conservative on the throttle there as he goes through turn 11, and so Elias is through and up into P6. There is now a dive bomb from Binmeister trying to get up the inside. Everybody jostling for position here, and as you would expect, because there is only 7 laps left to go in this race, so you've got to make your moves now. And Binmeister seems like he's going to finish that move. There's contact up ahead. See wing damage coming off there. I think that's from the Haas of Malb. Indeed, the entire wing off, no less. And he's going to have to come into the pits now, surely. Indeed, he is. So, unfortunately, a great day for him has turned sour in an instant, basically. And now Elias, with some straight line speed from the heavens, has managed to make it up into P4.
So yeah, great recovery from Elias, and now he's chasing after.
Oh, that's not going to work,
Norris.
and now contact again.
Crash here once again
into the wall. Binmeister picks up wing damage, and nobody out of the race this time. That was contact. They tried to go 3 wide. Binmeister trying to get the switch back, and unfortunately that has backfired horribly for him, and he's going to be down to the back of the order. Max gone as well. Don't think he has damage, but dirt all over the tyres. Meanwhile, his teammate, I Like Trains, getting forced off the track. Oh, and making a little bit of contact. Icky Rabbit does a great job to avoid a big accident there. And we stay green flag running, but unfortunately not in the cleanest of circumstances.
Yeah, people getting aggressive all over the place here in this last few laps, and as we can see in the battle for P at this point, I think P7, P6, not sure, and we got a spin, I think. Oh no, sorry, it's still Binmeister, still having a little bit of trouble driving without the front wing, but it's quite understandable, really. But meanwhile, still have to see who's gonna conquer this P7, because right now the battle between the Williams, between Rabbit and of course I Like Trains, is still raging on quite hard, and AlphaTauri versus Haas, we're gonna see who's got the better straight line speed, and I think the Haas has it. And let's see if they're gonna try something into turn 1 now, because they are gonna set up for the main straight right about now.
And it's maybe be 3 wide here. Let's see if the flat opens. Indeed it does. And here we go, 3 wide, getting pushed onto the grass. Gonna have to back out surely. Gets forced even wider onto the grass still. I Like Trains there getting the big old squeeze out of the corner, and the Williams goes way deep into the corner. That's Blundy locking the rear tyres. Somehow, they've not actually changed places yet, but now forced out wide again is I Like Trains, put into the gravel, comes almost to a complete stop there as his teammate breezes by. And, well, the race is just unravelling for AlphaTauri. So, again, we've still not managed to have clean racing just yet, but thankfully, it is still green flags as things stand. And it is now Elias. I saw that they were getting close, and he has made the move into turn 1 to get up into P3 and onto the podium with 5 laps left to go. Let's see if he can close after Loris and Fred.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief, I think I've seen cleaner racing here in this league, but it is what it is, and now we got actually a battle for the lead, because Fred and Loris are very close for the lead position, even though Loris has a penalty, of course. And Lamau, yes, may actually try and take advantage of this battling to try and get there, and if he manages to overtake just Loris, I think he may actually win the race, because there is still the penalty from Fred, which is still unset.
Indeed, yeah, and that penalty may be costly. You see Malb there getting forced out wide. This is the battle for the wooden spoon, effectively, as we saw just a few moments ago. I Like Trains and Binmeister both retiring. I Like Trains doing so on the track. The stewards will not be too kind with that one, you'd imagine. As now on the start-finish straight, we do have the battle for the lead. Loris has been closing up. Fred had pulled away a little bit to begin with, but he's closed up a bit now. And if those two start to fight, like you say, all Elias has to do, all Elias has to do is get past Loris, and he will be able to take the win of the race, no less, from 19th on the grid. So we told you not to count him out. Meanwhile, Malb and Davey going side by side there through the final corner, getting all kinds of squirmy, and they're going to be very aggressive down the start-finish straight, and Malb gets the move done on the Mercedes driver, though I suspect this battle is most likely far from over.
Yeah, but I feel like they're gonna keep switching places every time there's a DRS zone or on the main straight, so it's just a matter of trying to get into the right place at the right time. So meanwhile, let's keep an eye on the top places, because 1.3 seconds, it was 2.3 seconds a few seconds ago, and now the battle for the lead still rages on with a very fast Fred, who clearly doesn't want to get overtaken, and a very fast Lamau Yas getting very, very close on the back of them. So
Indeed.
this is gonna be quite an interesting ending of this race, and of course actually quite close, because I don't know if Loris will be able to actually... I mean, it could be like a Sainz and Norris situation where one gives the DRS to the other, and so on. They keep they keep the other car unable to complete an overtake, but we don't know really if it's gonna happen or not. So yeah, we can just watch and see what happens while Loris tries to keep the DRS zone, the slipstream too. And is he gonna go for a maneuver? I don't think he is. He's gonna try and play it smart and wait.
Set it up, yeah. He's got the better exit for second, but he's a little slow through turn 2 there. He's going to be a bit far back here, but into turn 4 with the DRS, he's going to breeze up the inside. I think Fred might have actually backed out of the throttle a little bit there. And, well, maybe you were right about some kind of strategy with the DRS going on. I wouldn't have expected it, but Loris just flew past Fred, and I would have to guess, like I say, I think he must have lifted off, but I would be curious as to why, because he really needs the track position right now, does the Mercedes driver, and all that's going to do is invite Elias closer and closer into the fight. Meanwhile, we've got Kateshi all over the back of Hashim for P5 in this race, and on the soft tyres, you can see both of them are on soft tyres actually, equally worn, so we'll see, should be a street fight between them.
I think that Fred probably knows that he's kind of doomed with that penalty to not finish on the first place, so I think he's actually trying to oppose as little resistance as possible to the other guys on medium tires to try and keep the DRS zone and get more than 5 seconds, which he has now from Tom, and get away. Also, in all of this, they've actually spun and got a little bit off track, but it's all good, he's still on the track. I don't know if he has the front wing yet, but that's another question. And now let's see the battle for the lead here between, of course, Loris, Fred, and Lamau Yes on the main straight. DRS getting open right now. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen.
And it doesn't look like Fred has the straight line speed here, but what I did want to point out is Fred may perhaps be playing the very, very long championship game here, and if he suspects that Elias is going to be more of a threat to his title, then perhaps he's just going to try and hold up Elias from actually taking the win and see if he can help out Loris, but I could be wrong on that one. And up the inside, no, not quite.
Not yet,
Faking the move was Elias there. As Bimpo, I think, going for a move further down the order, and indeed he's actually getting passed, I believe, by Malby, but we'll see if he's able to get back ahead. But yeah, it's still, as things stand, Elias right on the back of Fred, losing the rear end, but seems to have some very good pace in this race, but Fred is backing him up, and I suspect it may just be a case of Fred trying to hold on and see if he can stop Elias from getting through, but he's gone wide on the exit of turn 10, and that's going to allow Elias to have the inside line here as they head towards turn 11. Let's see if he can make the move and make it stick. It's going to be close. There's contact between the two of them. Fred tries to turn in, but Elias was already there, and he is, well, Fred's been forced out wide by the contact, loses the back end, keeps it in a straight line, but that is, well, his dreams of keeping Elias off of the top step of the podium, if that is what he was trying to achieve, are not going to be coming to fruition, because now it is Elias immediately 6/10 behind Loris and about to go for the race win at his home race from 19th on the grid.
Yeah, but he has 2 laps to go, so if he wants to make this overtake, he has to set it up perfectly to try and get it on the last lap. So I don't think this lap we're going to see an overtake. I mean, I could be wrong, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be very, very difficult because it's not going to be on this straight. Maybe on the next one, but it depends on how good the exit is on this second corner of the track. And I think it's actually pretty good. 2/10 actually behind him.
Very good exit.
Jared getting open. Loris getting a little defensive.
He's going to go for it around the outside. Loris is going to try and defend the inside, the racing line. He's going to see if he can push Elias out wide. Indeed he does. Just about keeps it on the track though, so all fair and loving work between the two so far. And Elias just slots in behind. He's almost pushing Loris through the corners there. And yes, he's going to dive it at the inside. Fred's there as well, looking in the mirrors. And it was about a half move from Elias. I think he was just trying to fake it, but Loris has just about held the position, and now switch to the inside. A huge dive bomb from Lamau, yes. Up the inside he goes, and he'll do exactly what he did to Fred this time last lap. This time he doesn't even need a mistake, and Lamau, yes, hits the front of the field. Meanwhile, can Fred do anything about it? He's not out of this just yet. He's going to get up the inside of Loris and forces the Alfa Romeo driver out a bit wide onto the curbs. So Fred back into P2 and might just try and steal the race win away yet, but he's going to have to play some serious strategy if he wants to do that now.
No, I don't think it's actually possible. I think right now Lamau Yes is going to try and run away as fast as possible, especially from Fred and especially from Loris. So this last lap is going to be tense here for the top 3, and we're going to see if Lamau Yes can pull this off, because it's going to be quite impressive if he can. But I think he actually made the overtake a little bit too early, because right now we can see Fred has the straight line speed, and he has, of course, the inside of turn 1. And let's see who graces later.
Here goes Loris. He's going to make it 3 wide. He's going for the double overtake, and he's got past Elias. He's he's dropped to third. Now they're going to be side by side on the exit of the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Two Italian teams going wheel to wheel. Fred's going to block the inside from Loris. Is that going to allow Elias to try and sail around the outside? Indeed, he's going to try it, but Fred, I think, is going to run him out of road there. Loris is going to be back up the inside here. Final lap battle for the win. This race has taken so long to get started, but it is finally delivering now, and Lemarius is going to try it again round the outside here. Of course, these guys, they don't need to be ahead of Fred. They just want to be ahead of each other. Contact between the two now as Loris loses the back end, just about keeping in a straight line. It's deja vu up the inside for Lemarius, and he forces Loris onto the curbs and gets into P2, and that will be, with penalties applied, P1 unless Loris can do something about it.
I think I've never seen someone try so hard to make a maneuver into turn 10, but it worked out, and knew that it would have worked out because both have DRS, so the DRS advantage is nullified by Loris. So right now, last possibility, last chance for Loris to try something if he's close enough, but I don't think it is. Keep a close eye on these two because it's gonna be very, very close.
But he's too far back. He's not going to be able to do it into the final corner. He's not close enough to get him on the exit, though. So it's going to be Fred who will lead them over the line, but it will be Elias from 19th on the grid who wins his home race here in Bahrain. First race of the season, goes to the Ferrari driver. He kicks off his title challenge in style. It's an Alpine 4-5 as Kateshi did get Hashima on the last lap of the race. So great job by him. And that will mean Hashima has to settle for 6th. Icky Rabbit takes P7 after a very roller coaster race for him. Blundy will score some points for Williams in P8 on those very warm medium tyres as Max Kuhn goes zipping into the wall over the line, and Melb rounds out the points. It's double points for Haas, but probably not quite the points that they were expecting after being so high up earlier in the race. And Bimpo, the race winner from pre-season, is going to finish P12 outside of the points, and that is a miserable day for him and the start to his championship campaign.
So 9 laps of green flag, amazing racing, and 20 laps of, well, I have no idea really.
Yeah, that was a real mixed bag of a race. I do promise that whenever LLC has green flag racing, it does deliver, and deliver indeed it did once we finally got round to it, with an epic battle for the win there. And Lemarius, props to him. That was a fantastic driver of the day. Of course, we will have our own poll in a few minutes time for you to go and vote on, but yeah, the game obviously awards him that for gaining 19 positions. And yeah, Fred will be, I'm sure, disappointed. We'll see if he's able to get the penalty removed, but given that it was contact under the safety car, I would imagine that is fairly unlikely. And yeah, Loris probably a bit disappointed to only end up with P2 after all of that, but still a very good drive from him.
So if you're wondering who won, trust me, we have no idea either. we think, and I mean, we can see that the Ferrari of Lemarius won, but of course we still have to wonder if Fred, who got on the finish line first, actually has the penalty removed or not. So the finishing order, as you can see, is this one. Up to you.
Yeah, we have Lemarius, or well, I should say with the asterisk, this is what the game has given us, but like I say, the stewards will be burning the midnight oil tonight, and probably for the rest of the week, to be honest, to decipher all of the penalties from this race. I do hand out my condolences to them once again, and best of luck. So yeah, here we go. The game order gives us Lemarius in P1 from Loris 2nd, Fred in P3. Then Tim Bleich with a strong P4 from 13th, Kateshi P5, Hashima P6, which is exactly where he started. I think the only driver who finishes where he started. Icky Rabbit in P7, Blundy P8, Max Con 9th, rounding out 3 German drivers in a row towards the bottom of the order, and Malb P10, making it 2 Bahraini drivers in the points today. Although Noah Fari, we didn't even get a chance to mention that, there was so much happening. But yeah, we'll see if he's back next week to get his title campaign kicked off a little bit later. Cooper in 11th, Bimpo down in P12, and Davey rounds out the finishers in P13. So that is going to be it for a hectic race, but we still have some, I would imagine, very entertaining driver interviews to come. So yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Well, actually, you can go and take a break. You probably need it. I know I certainly do. But yeah, we'll be back soon. Driver interviews, driver of the day poll, and taking a look at some of the drivers' best onboards and clips, of which I'm sure there will be many. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, we are back, and it is time for the fabled driver interviews, which will be very interesting today, I'm sure. We have the driver of the day poll in the chat as well, in Twitch chat and both in the league chat, so you can go to your preferred location to vote on that. Unfortunately, Burn Mylander is not an option. We realised that mistake after we published the poll, but either way, you can go and vote for your second best driver of the day, I suppose. But yeah, we will start off the interviews with none other than our race winner, Elias. Let's get him in. Elias, hello. Well, that was an interesting race, shall we say? You started 19th, you won,
yeah.
and then probably like something happened in between. You want to tell us about that?
Something.
Yeah.
Some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was truly a race in LRC.
Yeah, it was. So how did your race go then? Walk us through whatever you can remember, whatever the important bits were.
So, shit, good. Shit, good. Shit, good. When?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Okay. Let's start from quali, shall we? So I've practiced all week for this race. All right. Jokingly, I was like, yeah, imagine something happens again. Like, imagine something happens, and then the game decides to boot me from qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to join back. And it doesn't let me take control. I leave the lobby, and it retires me from the session. I'm starting 19th.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to me. That's what I expected happened after I saw that you disconnected. So, yeah. From 19th, lights out and away we don't, because we didn't actually start the first time, but the second time, how was your race start?
I had a good start, and then the AI of the Williams, I think, just was parked in front of me, and I got the damage.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw somebody didn't. It seemed to like not go off the line. I didn't see if anyone got affected by that, but I guess that would make sense because you were a bit further behind on the first start. But then obviously, safety car number 1 came out. How was your race from that point onwards?
It was quite the roller coaster. Like, I tried to, I was always trying to fight my way back up, then something would happen. I think on lap 17 or something. I don't know. I actually don't remember what lap was it. It was, sorry, but I got a really good restart, and I was thinking to overtake P1, and then Dave came down the inside, and then I got hit from behind, and yeah, I thought I just lost the win right there.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I can't help you with with which one that is. I have no idea.
Yeah,
it
had like 6 safety cars.
Yeah, we had 5, I believe it was. I think Max suggested that 5 was actually the limit of safety cars for the game because there were still crashes after that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say something, Max?
I hope it was the limit because after that we got no more safety cars. But I have no idea if 5 is the actual limit or you can get actually more.
Yeah, it was a chaotic middle section of the race, but at the end, once we made it through, once we emerged out the other side, we finally had a clean restart, 5th time's the charm.
Yep.
And from then on, we had some very good racing up at the front of the field to the end. So, yeah, you made some great moves, great progress. Where did you actually start on the final restart?
I don't remember. I think 6th.
Yeah, it was 6th or 7th, something like that. And
Yeah.
by the end of it, got up into P1. So, yeah, how was the actual race part of your race?
So the final 9 laps were really good. Made some good overtakes. My pace was really good. I knew that my pace would be really good. It's really sad to not be able to participate in qualifying because I've been doing a lot of time trial, a lot of qualifying practice, and that's just gone straight to the bin.
Well,
but I mean, the race is what counts, right? So
yeah, I was going to say, if it's any consolation, had you qualified pole, it probably would have made no difference. So.
This is actually my first win on this track, so
wow.
another W.
Yeah, it's very impressive to take the win at your home race from 19th, no less. So yeah, great job with that. Anything else you want to add? Or any other questions from Max?
No, actually, I think I'm fine. It was chaotic enough, and I think.
See, Max, I told you I'd be able to win. Remember our last interview?
Yep, I guess the promise was maintained, so we owe you one.
Oh my god, I choked on water.
All right, good job.
Also, it's very good to have you back, List.
No, it's my pleasure, my pleasure. But yeah, great job, great drive again today,
Thank
and good luck with the rest of your title campaign.
Thank you so much. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right. Miss the button. All right, there we go. That was yeah, pretty much what I expect. I'm gonna be honest. I'm expecting most of the interviews to be something like that. So it's like we ask about qualifying, and then there was the thing that happened, and then that we don't talk about, and then also the last 9 laps. So yeah, let's move on to our next interview, which will be Loris, who finished second. He is streaming right now, but unfortunately, I don't care. I'm going to get him in anyway. So let's do that if I can find the button. There we go. Loris, hello. Are you here? Are you with us?
Here, I'm with you.
All
Yes.
right, very good, very good. Well, first question I'm going to ask before we get into everything else. How do you feel about finishing second? Did you think that you could win, or was it is that one a painful one?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how I feel because I felt like I could have won it, but at the same time I should be happy with P2, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I kind of guessed it was going to be a bit of a mixed bag for you, considering how the race went. But yeah, seeing as we're working in reverse order, I guess. Do you want to tell us how the rest of your race went then, to lead up to that point? Because there was a lot that happened, so feel free to mention anything.
Many safety cars.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Many safety cars, many incidents as well.
Happened. Oh yeah, at the safety car restart, I forgot to change back my brake bias.
Yeah,
Then I locked up.
I
And,
kind of guessed.
The funny happened.
Yeah, trying to go forward through turn 4 or 3. whatever it
Yeah.
was.
From then, I mean, I don't know, just try to not die, and then I would score points.
Yeah, it was.
Basically,
It was basically, as we said with Elias, it was basically a race of 2 halves. You had the safety car period, the bit that we don't talk about, and then we had the actual race started with 10 laps to go. So yeah, once we actually started the race, how did you feel that went?
yeah, it went quite good. I thought like Fred was gonna pull away in the beginning, but apparently he didn't, so I just stuck with him. And then I just wanted to like wait for the last few laps and battle it out for P1 because I know Elias was coming. So it went quite well until on the last lap at turn 10, and then it didn't go too well. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
whatever.
I will say, even though you didn't get the win, you put up a valiant effort, and it was very enjoyable to see you scrapping all the way to all the way to the final sector, effectively. But yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Do you think you will be able to get a win this season?
Yeah, I guess there are a lot of opportunities, so why not?
All right, that's the fighting spirit we like to hear. Do you think I'll ask the the forbidden question, I guess? Do you think you'll be able to go for the title?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, but yeah, from seeing it now, I don't think it will be enough to go for it. Maybe fight for some victories, but the title is a bit too far away.
All right. Well, you put in a great drive today, Max. You have anything else to ask?
Yes. Now that you have ended up in P2 in the sprint race, and you'll start on P2 on the main race tomorrow, how you will live out the main race?
We start on Inters, we straight line Elias and retire. That's
Yeah, makes sense.
Great strategy.
yeah, I think so as well.
Honestly,
I guess.
I'm amazed that nobody actually put on wets at some point in this race, considering how many safety cars there were.
To be honest, true.
Yeah. All right. I won't keep you here any longer. Congrats on the P2. and hopefully we're able to see you go on better later on in the season, and maybe get yourself a win.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Right. Bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Okay, next up, we're going to move straight on to P3, which is, as far as we know, is going to be Fred. So, yeah, he's also streaming as well, but again, that's just unfortunate. I'll be getting him in anyway, so let's bring him in. Fred, hello.
Oh, hello.
Did you want an interview? Just so it's sure.
I don't mind an interview. Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. We'll try and keep it short then. So, insane race, all things considered. You were probably, like most drivers, in every single position in the field at some point or another. But in the end of the race, you ended up in the lead for a while, then fighting for the win. But unfortunately, with the 5-second penalty, ended up knocking you back to third. So, first question I have to ask: do you think you'll be able to get that removed?
There is a chance, I believe, that I might be able to get that removed. I have a valid argument.
All right.
So I guess we'll just have to leave that to the stewards. But yeah, even if it doesn't get removed, I think it was a great race overall, considering what happened.
Yeah,
because I've been taken out so many times and I had my front wing chopped off. So yeah, considering what happened earlier in the race, I think even if I finish third, which I don't think will happen, but even if it does happen, it still is a good finishing position and not too bad to start off the season with.
Yeah, it's still 15 points on the board at least to kick off your title campaign. You think, I guess I'll ask now, do you think you'll be able to fight for the title this season? Is that your goal?
Surely, I mean, I'll give it a go. As long as I can join in, week out, I think I do have the pace. Just as much as, Elias or Lorius or Bimpo maybe has. So, yeah, definitely it's all to play for, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, there's a good start to the race. Is there anything specific that you want to mention? Anyone you want to call out or congratulate or thank or anything like that?
No, definitely not.
No, somehow I didn't expect so. But yeah, it was good to see you getting in some good battles at the end at least. I will just ask as well, what was your strategy at the end of the race? Because it seemed like you were doing something, but I couldn't quite figure out what. My best guess was that you were trying to stop Elias from winning.
I think no, it was not. It was not about trying to stop Elias from winning. It was about trying to win the race for myself.
Okay.
What happened was, at first I tried to get away from Norris, break the DRS and just tried to cruise off into the distance because I had the 5 seconds and I didn't know if I could remove it, and I still don't know if I can remove it. So I wanted to get away from Norris, but Norris had the pace to stay with me, and I made a couple of mistakes, which was not nice. But yeah, I couldn't get away from him, and I had used all my ERS to try and get away from him. But when I made the mistakes, obviously he got back. So I had to save ERS. That's why I lifted off quite a lot, and I let Norris pass, and I needed DRS to charge up that battery again.
I see.
And yeah, and towards the end, yeah, it was just trying to do the best I could. Obviously, we had a little incident, but these things happen. I guess we'll have to let the steward decide on whatever happened, and yeah, just move on and look forward to the next race.
All right. Well, yeah. Indeed, indeed, we can do that. So yeah, good job with the race, Max. Anything else you wanna ask?
Yeah, just a simple question, really. During the stream, we didn't really catch up what happened, but I at least I wanted to ask, what was the penalty for? Because I think we missed it during the stream, and
The last or the first one, I got two 5-second penalties in this race. The first one was because I don't know if you even know that I had another one, but the first one was when I was coming out of the pits, I just slightly touched Cooper, and that's why I think I could get that second penalty removed. I slightly touched Cooper, and it gave me a severe collision penalty, which was not supposed to happen. I touched him, but it didn't even affect his car, and I had to serve that. And then the second penalty, which I had at the end of the race, was for speeding in the pit lane, which was also a bit dodgy, but I think I still sped into the pits anyways. So yeah, that was the reason.
I mean, the reason I was asking this because I remember the collision one during the first part of the race. Then the second one, I think I didn't really catch that you sped into the pit lane, so I was just
yeah.
I think it was.
I was also trying to overtake someone into the pit lane, and I slightly touched the grass. I was gonna overtake him if I didn't touch the grass, but when I touched the grass, I completely locked all the tires. So I I was just sliding. I couldn't get the car stopped, so that's why I sped.
I see.
All right, makes sense.
All right. Well, if you have nothing else to add, then I'll congratulate you on some position on the podium. We don't know what yet, but yeah, good start to the season, and hope to see you fighting at the front again in the remaining races.
Thank you, friend.
All right. See you.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, it was an interesting situation with the penalties there. I have no clue, to be honest, if there's something in the rules for getting safety car penalties removed. I don't know, but yeah, I suppose I'll leave that up to the stewards as if they don't have enough to do. But yeah, let's move on down the order and go to our P4 finisher, which is Tim Bleish from 13th on the grid. Tim, hello.
Hello.
Hello. All right. That was as far as I could see, a pretty good race by you there to get up into P4 at the end of things. I'll be honest, I wasn't. we didn't have much chance to see how the actual race part of your race went in the final 10 laps, but
Yeah, fair.
yeah, there was a lot going on, but yeah, somehow you ended up there and were able to have the pace to hold it there. So yeah, how was your race? You can give us a bit of a rundown.
It was actually quite chaotic, to be honest.
As a
But
surprise.
I think, yeah, it's not a surprise, but yeah, I actually could keep it clean. I think I only got one track limit warning in the first lap. And after that, I kept it clean, got no warnings or everything. Just kept it on the track and yeah, ended up in P4.
Yeah, it was, I guess that was kind of how the race went. Basically, whoever had the least crashes would finish finish at the front of the order, I suppose. But yeah, I suppose pace did still played a bit of a factor. He did have nine or so laps of green flag racing at the end, which was
Yeah, fair.
nice to see.
I mean, I had no chance of being near Norris or Fred or Elias in the end, but yeah, I take it actually.
Yeah, I think you did a very good job, all things considered. To well, first of all, to stay in the race, and then second of all, to finish P4. So yeah, nice job on that.
I was my expectations for the race was like, yeah, maybe top 10 or so. I would be happy, but P4 is, yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
I would say not bad.
Yeah, very nice job. What are you expecting from the rest of the season then?
Oh,
What are your goals?
to just be clean and get some points actually. I don't think podiums would be very realistic, but like some top 10 or top 5 finishes would be very good.
So
yeah.
just consistency then. That's
True.
That's fair. All right. Well, wish you the best of luck with that. You got off to a very good start today. So,
Thanks.
Anything else that you wanna add? And also, Max, if there's any questions you have.
I was thinking about it, but I really can't come up with much to ask, really. I mean, the first half of the race was kind of slow, let's say, and then the second half was very chaotic. So
Yeah, in the first half I was like too carefully actually. I was like too kind, to be honest.
no, trust me, you did
You did the right
how
thing.
can I say the right thing to stay
Yeah.
calm. Because, we saw literally people crashing out during the safety car itself. So
There was
Yeah,
plenty of incidents both in and out of
Yeah,
safety car.
actually I had one incident with Lynx, I think, when in the safety car I was behind
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Then he lagged behind me actually.
Oh, that's
I
it.
braked and then he straight at me like I think it was actually a lag thing, so
Okay.
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, well, so Sphinx was involved in quite a few incidents in that race, but yeah, either way, it was a very good drive from you to keep everything clean and
Yeah,
be
thanks.
be there when it counted. So yeah, good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like I didn't see like any of Tim's race.
I mean, there
just
was a
appeared.
lot of stuff happening on
Yeah.
the front, so it makes sense that we missed a little bit of him.
Yeah, it's, we unfortunately cannot get round to everyone. He was, I suppose it reflects well on him that we weren't watching him, because it means that he was keeping it clean the whole time. So, yeah, either way, P4 for him. I don't think Kateshi is doing an interview. No, he's not. So, I don't remember the rest of the order after P6, so I'm not going to lie. So, I guess we're just going to do a random order from that. And I will start out with, I think, with MaxCon, because he's actually the last driver, unless Era wants an interview, but he wasn't in the race, so I don't know why he would. Either way, let's get MaxCon in now, see what he has to say. MaxCon, hello. Are you ready for an interview?
I am indeed, yeah.
All right, good to hear. So, first thing I have to ask, where did you finish? There was a lot going on.
I think P9.
P9, okay. Yeah, I remembered you were in the points somewhere. I just couldn't remember whereabouts in that 7th to 10th region. So, yeah, points is better than nothing considering how that race went. But yeah, how did you feel it went from your perspective? You can walk us through it a bit.
This was a weird race, definitely. So I started off in P11, then eventually I got caught up in an incident, dropped down outside the points, then after another safety car I was up to P8 again, and then there was even more chaos. I was leading the race at some point, I was actually looking pretty solid for a podium or maybe a top 5, but then I got caught up by the chaos myself and then dropped down the order. I had a broken front ring for the rest of the race, and yeah, and then finishing P9.
Yeah, it was for basically everybody has described the race as like a bit of a roller coaster, because it was just constant chaos, and every time the safety car came out, half the field was in the pits, so the order completely flipped on its head. So yeah, we struggled for consistency in the first part of the race, but then eventually we got 8 or 9 laps of green flag racing. How did you feel that went for the actual part of the race, I guess?
The actual part of the race went like shit because Blindy for some reason was playing Burnout Paradise instead of F1 23.
I saw that.
First he rammed me in the middle sector, which didn't cost too much. It was a light collision, but I was still like, what the fuck, and out of concept. And 2 laps later he rammed Shadow, and Shadow spun into me, and then my front wing was broken. And now he's saying that it was my fault because he is not using assist and I'm using traction control medium.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there was some.
This guy is insane.
Yeah, there was some interesting moves from Lundy. I will entirely agree with that. The move into turn 1 was quite something to behold. Basically backing it into the corner. That's not a line that I've seen through there before. Yeah, either way. Your race was unfortunate, I guess, towards the end to only end up in P9, but still, like I say, you got 2 points on the board. How do you think you see the rest of your season going?
Probably similar. Like, points should not be out of the question. I think I should be around the P7, P9 mark. Maybe if I'm lucky, a top 5. If I'm unlucky, DNF or no points. I honestly don't know how the season will go. I think I can be expected anywhere.
Yeah, I suppose you are kind of that type of driver who just crops up in a lot of different places, and yeah, we'll see if you're able to put your defensive driving skills to use again this season. I'm sure you'll find plenty of ways to do that. But yeah, either way, Max, you have anything else to ask?
Sorry, I didn't watch the race, so I forgot.
Okay, fair enough. All right, in that case,
You should have watched it. Bernd Mailänder was amazing today.
Yeah, he was star of the show.
We did let some laps, actually.
Yeah, we didn't put him in the driver of the day poll because he'd have won by too much. It wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah, fair.
All right. Well, yeah. Unfortunate on the race, but still, good job on getting 2 points from it in the end, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. And I think, unless Aero wants an interview for some reason, I'll ask. I have no idea what he'd have to talk about. Maybe he was engineering or something. So I'll ask him now. But if not, then we'll be getting on with the clips for stream, which I think is going to be a very interesting section this time.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff this time.
All right, let's see what Aero has to say first. But I would assume not. And let me just get a quick peek in first, see how many we've got. Yeah, we. To be fair, I was kind of expecting a few more than that. We've got a lot from MaxCon. Thankfully, Phil wasn't here today, otherwise we'd be here for the next 4 hours. Okay, yeah, Aero was indeed engineering, so we'll get him in then. See what he has to say. He can be the last interview. If I can figure out how to drag him in. There we go. Aero, hello.
Hello.
So, word on the street tells me you were engineering for our race winner today. I don't really know what to ask, to be honest, but I'll just ask first of all, how was the race from your perspective as an engineer?
Well, the street was right then, and yeah, so it was first of all trying to keep Elias calm with everything happening during the race, and even prior to that, due to him just getting retired during quali because of a game bug. So yeah, it was mainly that, and trying to take the right decisions, which we did. Which ended up being really positive for Elias and getting a provisional win, because we never know after tickets what may happen. But yeah, it was really a great challenge to engineer this race. But yeah, everything turned out great for Elias, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot to go on. At what point, if any, did you just decide to abandon the strategy altogether and just focus on track position?
Honestly, I think after every restart, we had a clear objective of what to do and how to do it. So track position was, of course, the key point after each restart. But honestly, every time something happened, I already had something in my mind of what to do if said thing happened. And yeah, track position, of course, was essential when we looked at our strategy and what options we had. But it was mainly what was gonna happen, like at what lap was the next safety car gonna come out, was basically our main focus, to be honest.
All right, well, Fred Vasseur, you know what to do. Hire this guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. But yeah, unironically, I have to say that sounds like he did a very good job. Played a very helpful role. Is there anything else specifically you want to mention from the race? Anything that jumps out to you?
Well, anything that jumps out, there wasn't much that jumped out to me, but a lot of cars jumped out at Elias and a lot of other drivers. So, yeah, I'm hoping for a bit cleaner race. Yeah, in the next Grand Prix.
Yeah, well, we have Tier 2 tomorrow. I'm not making any promises, but I'll do my best to try and keep things clean. But yeah, we'll see if we can improve on that. And then obviously, like you say, next Friday, we'll be back again with the second... Well, actually, not next weekend, the Friday after. We'll be back with the second race at Jeddah. Are you going to be engineering for that again?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might even race myself, but we never know. I'll see how I feel like.
All right. Well, good to hear from you. Max, you have anything else to say or ask?
Yes. Will you race?
Okay.
Well,
So
like in general, not like specifically in Jeddah.
I think in my life, yeah, I will end up racing. Yeah, I think so.
Right. That's great then.
Great to hear. Great to hear.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's all I have to ask.
All right, well, if that's it then. If nobody has anything else to say, then I'll let you go. And great job on getting Elias the win.
All right. Well, thank you for the interview, and yeah, see you guys for the next race.
All right, see you.
All right. Bye.
Okay, with that then, it is finally time to move on to clips for stream. The moment you've all been waiting for. And let's take a first look through those. I think from what I can see, it's mostly from Cooper and MaxCon, but there are a couple others lettered in. So let me see if I can find the top. Keep scrolling. There we go. And eventually we reach the first one, which is going to be from MaxCon. And I'll change the scene in a second, once I can get in full screen. There we go. And let's see. Hopefully I have all the audio set up. Looks like I do. Very good. So yeah, let's have a look at this first clip. Oh, I don't have display capture on. There we go. Now I have display capture on. Alright, let's take a look at this one. So this is going to be from one of the restarts, probably a third or fourth if I was going to guess, into turn 1 here. That's where Loris goes deep, and I suspect then that this is going to be the pile-up heading through turn 3. Let's see, 3 cars on the inside, 4 cars on the inside, and yeah, everybody just gets spun off into the inside wall, and German taken straight out of the race there. So
you could have guessed what would happen with the proximity lines, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's see if we can find the moment that his race was over. Probably about here. Once you see those 2 arrows there, and then the other 2 arrows there, it was never gonna. There was no recovering from that point, and just gets hit, and before he can even turn right, gets turned left, and race over. So yeah, not ideal. But I'll move on to the next clip in a second. Let me pause the music so that doesn't play every time. There we go. Alright, next clip is going to be from Slinks, who is at the heart of the action today. Let's see what he has to show. And we don't have any audio on this one by the looks of things. There's contact into turn 1, everybody concertinas up. And we have plenty of lag instead. Apparently,
this clip is actually quite weird. You can see how much lag there is.
Oh yeah, okay. So this lag is actually. I'll be honest. I thought this was on my end, but no, this is actually on Slinks' end. So yeah, perhaps that's why he was involved in so many accidents. Then seems to have some terrible connection. But you can see just absolute pandemonium ahead. This is from the same moment that we just watched. You can see Jarman off on the left hand side with. Bimpo, by the looks of things there, in the Aston, and then another bit of contact further up the road between one of the McLarens there, that's Welbs, and somebody else. You've got Williams off the track, that's Blundy, so yeah, it's just pandemonium effectively here. But Slinks does well to make it through that one unscathed. Unfortunately, though, the same could not be said for later on in his race. But yeah, next one is... Well, we definitely have sound for that one. Going to be from Welbs. Let's take a look at this. This is from lap 15, so we're going to have a different incident here. And this is, I think, him spinning under the safety car. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he just gets hit. That was what happened then, and taken out. So, Slinks again, as we said, he is at the heart of the action. I'm just going to have to assume that this is all because of his connection issues.
I mean, it would make sense, because if you see, it feels like Slinks didn't brake because he didn't know he was back on boys was braking ahead of him. So
yeah,
if I have to guess, it's like not really his fault. It's more like a connection problem.
Yeah, I would assume so. I know Slinks does. It does struggle a little bit with making mistakes, but he's not this bad. I've raced against him before, and yeah, I think that was those connection issues were definitely playing a big role in his quite unfortunate race today. But yeah, I'll leave that up to the stewards to cast the final vote. Next up, we have one from Tim Bleish. Let's take a look at this. So this is on lap 16. So on the final safety car, I believe. Could be wrong. And yeah, that was Slinks disappearing, and then yeah, so there you can see the lag on full display.
Yeah, all right.
That's yeah, I think it's very clear he was having quite a tricky race. I mean, you can see he's already just teleporting around on the track. And then...
Yeah, I mean, Slink's demise wasn't really his fault. It just happened, really.
Yeah, there was. I may have been too harsh not knowing the circumstances at the time, so I apologise for that. But yeah, either way, like I say, I'll leave it up to the stewards to make any final judgments. Next up, we have quite a long one from Eilic Trains. Let's have a look at this. So this is going to be from lap 12 here, and I'm guessing lap 12 will be on to lap 13. So this is going to be his perspective of the turn 3 accident, most likely. and with the restart included too, so we can take a look at that. Turn up the sound. So it gets underway, Bimpo gets a really good restart ahead of it, and straight onto the back of Jarman. And then you can see Tim Blythe struggling with the straight line speed there. I think he was out of the slipstream, and so they end up going 3 wide, getting hit from behind with I Like Trains. He gets actually forced well off the track. Tries to rejoin, just about does, and then there's the contact ahead, with everybody going off the track. And there's the second contact with Welp getting spun around, and it's just total chaos.
It's actually a bit of strange driving, because it feels like he doesn't have a lot of grip, really. I mean, if you see after he gets off the gravel, he goes left and right with the wheel a lot. And I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I did notice one, because there was 2 moments in the race where Alec Trains ended up in that gravel trap, and the second time he basically came to a dead stop. So I don't know if he was just slowing down to try and maintain grip or what happened, but yeah, he seemed to be struggling a little bit today. Perhaps it was something with the setup. He was not able to nail that, and that might have been why he was down the order. But who knows? I suppose we'll find out in 2 weeks' time.
Maybe.
Alright, next one is from Kateshi. The opposite of the previous clip, we've got a 4-second clip here in some kind of ratio. I have no clue what that is, but either way, let's have a look at this. And yeah, that's just everyone backing up. This is actually, I think, on one of the restarts. Yeah, there's Bimpo slowing up the field, and then, yeah, just a concertina effect, and Cooper, so apparently this is from Cooper, ends up getting a lot of damage there.
I think we actually saw that template flying during the restart. I'm not sure, but I think we did.
We saw quite a few templates flying, so I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, there was definitely there was a lot of shenanigans at the final corner, so that may have been part of it. Next up, we have one from Naxcon. I promise I've got the right driver this time. Let me show this. Alright, this is into turn 1. This is on lap 2 of the race, and contact there from I Like Trains, his teammates. They try and go 3 wide through turns 1, 2 and 3, and apparently that's the end of the clip, so another short one.
I mean, chaotic situation. I hope nothing bad happens here.
Yeah, I think there was actually a bit of contact between Bimpo and I Like Trains, who gets pushed into Cooper, so yeah, it's a minor incident, to be honest, by this race's standards. I don't think the stewards will probably care about that one, considering how many other things happened.
Maybe.
We have straight away another one, or 2, or 3 from Maxcon. So let's move on to the next one. And this is also from that same restart that we just saw from Cooper, where he just gets brake checked effectively by the concertina. And then I wonder if Cooper actually goes straight into the pits. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like he does. Yeah, that's just another perspective of the same one that we just saw.
Yep.
So we'll go straight on to the next one, which is everybody's favourite moment of the race, by the looks of things, lap 13, once again. We're getting all of the angles on this one. This one might just be the best angle. Yeah, you can see they go 3 wide, and then Fred even tries to make it 4 wide, which was absolutely never going to work, but the crash happened long before he got alongside. Or started long before he got alongside anyway. And I mean just look at this screenshot.
He literally lived the Moses experience. Just saw waters open up ahead of him and just got ahead.
Yeah, he should make sure that he goes to church or whatever his place of worship is after this race, because clearly this was a message from above. But, yeah, everybody just sails off the track and into the wall. So yeah, there's a quadruple overtake for you from Maxcon there. So nice job by him on steering the car. Alright, next one is going to be from Kateshi, actually from Kateshi this time. And here we go, we've got some lovely quality on this one. This is going through turn 8, and that is where Slink spins out. And I'm guessing that's going to be the whole clip. Yep, indeed it is. So basically just another replay of the incident that we saw earlier on. And it was, so Slinks was actually from, must have been, what, 4th, I think? That spin came from. So yeah, very costly for him, unfortunately.
I'm actually more surprised that it wasn't contact, like he actually lost him by himself.
Yeah, he's as I was saying earlier, he does struggle with traction. I think I'm not sure if it's something with whatever controls he's using or whatever, but he was struggling with traction in Spain in the Tier 2 race last time out, so it seems to be a little bit of a theme with him, unfortunately. So hopefully he's able to resolve that in due course. Next one is from Cooper again, and this one's a very loud one. Going into turn 8, and that was the contact from Hashima there. So this was one of the many incidents that we saw at turn 8, and you can just see in the mirrors there, if you look on the right hand side, the Ferrari just commits up to the inside. Cooper doesn't really leave any kind of space, so again, I'll leave it up to the stewards to decide who's at fault there, but either way, ends up with both of them losing about 5 places.
I mean, I feel like the Ferrari was a little bit too aggressive, but yeah, we'll have to see what the commissars, sorry, not commissars, the stewards will decide.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Next clip is from MaxCon again here, and he is getting absolutely swarmed on the restart here, and this is the moment where they tried to go, it was actually 5 wide into turn 1, and just about everybody gets taken. Wow, he really is like Moses today, huh? There's just everybody just fell off the track once again. The seas parted, and Max comes into P3.
Well, what did I tell you before the race start? Like, if you want to go with a better race position at the end of the race, you literally don't have to be aggressive. You just like
Exactly.
wait that the chaos happens around you
Yeah.
and just survive.
Yeah, just hang back, let everybody take each other out, and then stroll through to take the win. Or whatever position Elias isn't in. But I mean,
Easy.
Yeah, look at this. As if the first screenshot wasn't enough, here's another one. We've got the swarm approaches turn 1, and unfortunately, half of the swarm did not make it past turn 1, as we see. Elias gets hit by Malb, and Hashima hits Binmeister, and Icky Rabbit's just the innocent victim there, just gets completely cleaned out from the lead. And suddenly Davey inherits P1 as now, yeah, you see, MaxCon, or, well, it's not MaxCon, it's somebody who's apparently called MaxCon, but Malb gets pushed off the track there by Elias.
How many MaxCon are there?
There's 2 Hashimas, there's a lot going on. It's the game genuinely cannot keep up with the amount of accidents that were happening in this race, clearly.
Incredible.
Yeah, alright. Next clip is going to be from Cooper once again. Let's take a look at this. And this is, well, another perspective of the same accident. Just, yeah, total chaos. It was never going to work. I'm amazed that nobody decided that they should back out from that one, but I suppose that was the theme of the first half of this race, and yeah, everybody just ends up crashing into everybody, so yeah, just another angle of it there.
This is fine.
It's yeah, it's definitely fine. We'll go to another clip from MaxCon now. This one, he's apparently fighting for the lead of the race. So this is going for the move on the inside of Hashima on lap 17. Make that the outside now. Gets a nice little switch back there. Gets to the inside for turn 13. And we'll see, did he get the move done? I think he did. And yeah, indeed he does. So clean little overtake there. And yeah, he was right. He was actually leading the race at one point. So yeah, props to him. But if only we could have seen more moves like that. That's all I'll say.
I mean, we had a little bit of crashing, so it was difficult to see moves like that.
Maybe everyone's gotten their whole season worth of crashes out of the way in the first race. There's going to be no more safety cars after this.
Well, we can hope.
Yeah, we can certainly hope. MaxCon again here. This is him going for the switchback that was never going to work, I suppose. As Blundy just, as was described in the interview, just drifting around, gets a massive tank slapper on the exit. You can see, even at this point, Blundy's front left tyre is pointing clearly towards the wall. He was not going to make the corner without hitting the Red Bull, unfortunately. Yeah, Shadow and MaxCon were just innocent victims there.
Yeah, sadly he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and well, this happened.
Yeah, it's another one of the many accidents that happened today, and I think no, not quite the last one. We have at least one more from Cooper, which is a whole 2 seconds long. So we're not going to be keeping you around for too long. Don't worry. See this one, and yeah, that was just Hashima going way too late on the brakes and ploughing into the back of Loris.
Yeah, a little bit of late braking never hurt anyone. Kind of.
Apart from Hashima, yeah, apart from Hashima.
Yeah, apart from that, but
Yeah, I think that is all of them. Let's see. No, we've got another one. Again from Cooper. Let's see this one. This is yeah, the conveniently cut clip there, and this was the moment that his race was officially over, I suppose. And
yeah, I mean, I think we know what happens then after this.
Yeah, we just need the "will be right back" because yeah, there's only one place he's going, and well, there's some free advertising for DHL. But yeah, that was unfortunately brought an early close to Cooper's race. But I think, oh no, we've got 2 clips from Electrains, and then I think that'll be it. No, Elias has just posted another one. All right, we've still got a few more. As I said, I was expecting an absolute boatload of clips for today, and that is exactly what we're getting. So here we go. First one from Electrains, and that is the moment where Tamer and Leland both get taken out of the race to just slightly lock the tyres on the exit of the corner. I think Leland was trying to get around the car ahead of him. I'm not sure who that was, but he tries to move to the right and just, yeah, like I said, locks wheels with Tammy, and they both just go straight into the wall. Just a very unfortunate incident, really. But
yeah, just an incident, as you say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll wait and see if the stewards have a different view of things. I would hazard to guess that one will be just a racing incident, but then again, I'm not a steward, so I don't know. Second one from Electrains, going 3 wide and getting pushed onto the grass. This is one that we did catch live. I'm still amazed that he didn't back out sooner, but clearly very committed. And then there's the Blondie drift into the corner with absolutely wild overtaking maneuver, and then also just drives left. So that was what happened to that was what happened to Electrains. That was why he's going so slowly this time then, because apparently his AI decided that it was just going to park up on the exit of the corner. So
yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, let's just get another look at this. If my Discord cannot tab me out. Hang on. And I've already gone past it. Yeah, let's see this again. Just, to be fair, he wasn't that late onto the brakes. It was just he completely locked like all 4 tyres into turn 1, smacks into the side of Icky Rabbit, and then gets it. Oh, I didn't even notice. Electrains actually gets damaged there, and then gets hit again on the exit of the corner, as if the first one wasn't enough. So yeah, some curious driving from Lindy there.
I've seen cleaner racing, but this can happen, sadly.
Yeah. And I think finally, the final clip of the day is a positive note to end on from Elias as he takes the race win.
Tell me we have it. Tell me we have it. No way. No way, bro. No way. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. No way! Oh!
And I think yeah, that's going to be it. So yeah, as you would expect, emotions very high. As he said, it was first time winning at this track and doing it from 19th on the grid, no less. Overtake on the final lap of the race. That was one hell of a way to do it. So great drive by him, and nice way to end the clips for the stream.
So yeah, winning with style, surely.
Exactly. Well, that is going to be it then for today's race. We finally got through everything. I hand over to the stewards now to make of the results what they will. I'm sure it'll be completely different than what we told you by the time the official results are published. But if there are any major changes, we will try and let you know of them once we return after Christmas for round 2 at Jeddah. So, yeah, I will bring us onto the ending screen now. And also pause the music because it is very intense. But yeah, do you have what are your final thoughts on that race? I guess.
Well, we you know, in the history of Formula One, we had many races, like I think 1,000 or something more, and of all the races we have ever had in Formula One, this truly was one of them.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. This was one of the races, this was an LSE moment, and we end up with, as always seems to be the case, somehow LAS takes the win. So, yeah, it's a standard procedure then for LSE, and yeah, we'll see if that continues next time around. But until then, have a nice Christmas, everybody, and I think you can all take a moment, a nice weekend off to breathe after what was a very hectic race. And yeah, we have the Tier 2 race, of course, tomorrow, so we're not done just yet, but yeah, that will be it from me and Max, and I will be racing tomorrow. It's hopefully cleaner than today's race, but we will, only time will tell with that one, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, until then, we'll see you in the commentary booth once again in Jeddah. Good night.
Good night, lads.